Okay. So I think that we are pretty comfortable with the overview of previous session, but just in case anybody wants a recap.
A recap?
Just a little one. Hang on a moment. For the sake of it being probably the last time we'll play this for a while, I'm going to put on the Gauntlet song.
I thought you were saying D&D, and I was like,
what?
No. What are you on about?
It's playing. So, obviously, we all went to the Gauntlet, snuck beneath it, and discovered Shu being guarded by Mena and Dorina, who were two members of the Mensej clan who followed Shu, recognizing her greatness, recognizing that she had to be protected, and did not really deserve the punishment that was doled out to her. They followed her and are protecting her here. You guys managed to speak with them and hear a bit of their story and convince them to let you try and break the curse that binds her. The curse that binds her being trapped in a flesh prison.
Like all of us.
That only Ulster can rip apart. And, of course, you guys all team up, buffing up Ulster as much as possible so that he can fight her. But, unfortunately, as with many of these things, we had some near-death experiences, and, in fact, one death experience, losing Slia, which sent the three of you into your usual chaos states. Ulster experiencing an entirely new reality. Slia walking as if in a dream through the world you thought you knew.
Chaos.
And Sparks being left behind in this increasingly dark world, trying to be freed by my own, who then felt suddenly and sadly that she had to let you go. So, with all of this in mind, we were able to bring back...
You just became pixels.
Ooh. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Can everyone see me okay?
Can everybody see?
Yes.
Can everyone hear me?
We can't make that reference anymore.
Okay.
Is this some cancelled media or?
Cancelled.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Majorly. Anyway.
Oh,
So,
okay.
with that in mind, we resurrected our dear friend, Slian Soon, and then proceeded to capture Shu. Now, the rest of the way this all went out was a bit of a blur, but you guys were able to wrangle Shu onto the ship, trap her in Loran's circle that he had made, and yet not free her from her flesh.
We should knock her out and get Ulster to rip her out of her
prison. But regardless of the fact you were unable to free her,
Fine.
you were able to escape. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Yay.
Escape
Yay.
certain peril.
Oh, the music changed. It's
And now you're on a boat.
jaunty seafaring.
It is jaunty seafaring music. After some discussions with Sarza, and a few realizations, we pick up exactly, I think, pretty much where we left off. Slia resting in the hammock. Sparks never too far from her. And Ulster, you leaving Sarza on deck to go rejoin Loran. Now, I'm not sure if you have your own idea of how this would go. But if you are willing to, Loran would suggest dealing with Shu by getting some support from him. But anyway, I'll allow you to kind of proceed how you wish to. I think he established that last session anyway.
Should we go and meet up around Shu after breakfast, maybe?
Sure.
After a nice French toast, some berries.
So, oh yes, you guys took a long rest, didn't you? Last
I'm
game.
going to the rest.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, right. Thank you.
Okay, for sure. Then we'll have that down as a long rest, and you guys can all go to bed advice. Also, something you notice, I think that you would have maybe just knowing what you know, the direction your relationship is going, you probably would have slept in Loran's room. Or would you have slept with Shu?
If I didn't.
Yeah.
No, she would kill me.
For sure. Loran joins you, exhausted, to sleep, but partway through the night, you feel the bed kind of shifting, and he just says, "I'll be back in a moment.
Where are you going?
I'm just going to check on her."
Can I come?
Just it's more of a magical check rather than a wellness check.
But I can escort you.
Also, I'll come back.
You don't want me to go with you.
This just might take a while. And I want you to rest after everything you've been through.
But if you're not resting, I shouldn't be resting. So if
That's
you're going down,
silly.
then I should be there too.
No.
He hops out of bed and puts his robe on.
Also, I didn't do anything in the fight. I'm fine.
That's fine. If I get tired, I'll just sleep on the floor.
No, stay in the bed.
But I want to go with you.
But I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
It's fine. I've slept on rocks before. I've slept in trees before. I've slept in caves before. I've slept in puddles before. Although the puddles weren't there, I went to sleep and then it was raining and then there was a puddle. So technically I have slept in a puddle, but it wasn't a puddle when I went to sleep. So should I actually sleep? Yeah, I'll come with you.
Also, if I said please have one night sleeping in a nice bed, would you?
I've had many nights sleeping in nice beds.
Alright. Come on.
Yes, I will.
Mm-hmm. But you're not going to get much sleep, and not in the fun way. And he carries on. You follow him. Sparks and Bluey, if you guys are staying with the kind of rest of the crew, Sparks and Bluey. Bluey osmosis into two pieces. One is Sparky and one is Bluey.
I wish I could frog blink, because I feel that would be very in character for Ulster, but I can't do that. So just imagine that. Can anyone else frog blink?
Is it one eye opens the other way?
It's like slightly disconcerting, yeah. Look it up. People who can do it really well. I can't do it. I tried to do it today. I think it's like got to be some way of like sticking your eyelid down.
Okay.
Now everyone's going to be trying that whole game. Sorry. Continue.
I can't see if I'm doing anything.
Nah, it's like very specific. I'll send a video to the chat.
Who knows? Anyway, you've really triggered me now. I have to be able to do it. So, as you rest with the rest of the crew, Slia and Bluey. Slia obviously recovering from your death. So I understand if you are more in a much deeper sleep than usual. But Bluey, you would occasionally be jostled by the movements of crew kind of skulking back and forth, the sound of bottles. This is a merry crew. They seem to get rather tipsy rather often. You would have met a few of these people before, but nobody really disturbs you, especially, in the bunks. And you guys are allowed to take a full rest. But if you wish to break your rest and get up and do something else, then please do tell me. But the morning will come very soon. Ulster, from your perspective, Loran goes down to Shu and spends about 2 hours reconfiguring some of the areas of the circle that have frayed somewhat overnight due to Shu's kind of like not anger, but anger issues. Rage. The room is loud and bright because of the work that Loran is doing. So if you want to get a full rest, you're going to have to make me a constitution check.
I feel like that's discrimination.
I don't think
Go
it is.
Ulster. Go Ulster.
Go Ulster. Beat 12 plus 3, 15.
15. Okay. You have the worst sleep of your life.
I like to imagine that he tries to stay up and then eventually just smacks his head as he falls forward.
Oh,
At which point, I think Loran would, the moment you fall asleep, Loran would get someone to carry you up to a bed. Or
You just hear no.
also, if you are eventually tucked back into either a hammock close by in an adjoining room
He
or
wants
bed,
to sleep on the floor.
he's not letting you sleep on the
Leave him.
floor. You can't. He won't.
Leave him. He won't let someone else pick him up. He doesn't like people. He doesn't know touching him.
Not even Sarah's. That's what I thought.
Okay, if it was Sarah's, maybe he's fine with it.
Okay.
But you're not getting away with this next time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bait me with
All of
these fictional men.
Yes, I can. All of this to say,
You know the lesbians chew with us.
you guys all wake up after having a slightly disconcerting sleep. Sleer because you almost died. Sparks because you were jostled and interrupted. And also partially because of the interruption going to Shu, but mostly because you wake up without Loran next to you.
He's incredibly grumpy.
But there is a quick knock at the door. And Saraza opens it and says, I'm going to gather the others for breakfast if you want to come.
Is it to me or to them?
To you. And then he's going to go and get the others.
You dragged me from that room. Kicking and screaming.
You were asleep.
Kicking and snoring.
Come along now.
Also comes up to Saraza, looks at him, gives him a tiny gut punch, and then walks past.
That's what I thought. And he turns around and follows you. And then he goes to you guys and says the same. Food? And coffee?
does sound good. Might be a few moments though. Is Sleia like conscious? Does she need help being roused awake? Because Sparks wants to ask her something.
I think that like Sleia probably wouldn't get up until like Sarazar knocks on the door, and you just see like the blankets, like which are just kind of like this curled mound in the hammock, just kind of like perk up a little.
I'm gonna bounce over to Sleia.
I'll follow in a minute. I just need to get dressed.
Do you want breakfast in the hammock?
Saraza says, that's not how these things go, is it, darling? You're not my darling. I don't say darling. That's more of a Loran thing. I've picked that up from him.
I'm
we
not offended.
will... No, I'm more offended by the fact that he's so easily influenced my mannerisms. But alas, I must not think on it. Sleia, I know that you've had a near death. A death. You've dead. You've had a death.
Yes,
hasn't?
this is my second one.
He looks at the three of you concerned and then just says,
It should be fine.
right.
Sleia is still just a horn-shaped mound. Like, not really, like, refusing to come out of the blankets because they don't want Sarazar to, like, see them before they're, like, all dressed and stuff.
Saraza, leave.
I think Saraza just says, I am not interested in watching you change.
Turn around.
I'm going to, but can I please finish saying my piece?
You can turn around and say it.
I don't really feel comfortable doing that.
Honestly,
I'd rather be able to look
you
you in the
can
face.
you can talk to me. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me get dressed. Let me put my face on, and
I personally think the necessity of having an outward face when talking amongst friends is a bit
Right, I'm
redundant.
gonna push Sarah
Okay.
out of the room and be like, we're back in 2 minutes and wait.
thank you. And Slia will just like get out of the hammock and just throw everything on very quickly and get looking presentable.
I'm gonna scold Sarah.
I did want to ask.
Boiling water.
Tee-hee-hee-hee.
Who?
I did want to ask. Do you want to pray for spells together?
Pray for spells together.
We
That's
can
cute.
if you'd like.
If you want to do that after breakfast, that's. I think I think Sparks is very easy to read, and like partly she's offering this as like you don't have to be alone doing this unless that's what you want, but also like I think she would like a bit of support whilst praying for spells, considering what she happened to pray for yesterday didn't quite help them.
I'm more of a nighttime prayer, to be honest. But
Oh, get them done before you sleep. That's good. What?
Well-
Hang on. Did you get an opportunity to get them done?
not last night, but it's the stars still shine even in the day.
One big star. At least as far as I know.
Sarah's just knocks on the
I
door.
was gonna say after exactly 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, he's not Alec. After
No, also exactly 2 minutes. You said 2 minutes, so he was counting.
sure. Did Ulster also leave?
Yeah, he went with Sarah.
Oh, right.
Why?
The door is open.
To give Slayer privacy.
But they're besties, and he's gay.
Yeah, but to make sure that Sarazor left, because Sarazor like
Sarazor.
Sarazor.
I'm sorry.
Drool.
Okay, then sorry, I misunderstood. Otherwise, Sarah would have initiated something. He just says, slept well then. Ulster. Or not. Looks like not. You have a wrinkle just there.
I don't have any wrinkles.
You actually have one bed wrinkle. You know when you don't get a good night's sleep and you get a tiny little crease?
You have several wrinkles. There, and there.
Also, have you ever heard of aging?
I'm not at that point yet to really comprehend that.
Of course. Ulster, I am what they would call a little bit older than you and your friends. I lived a whole life before Loran was even born. So,
How old are you? Like 40?
if you were to put it in human years, I'm actually closer to 30-something. 30, like 1, 32, 33, I guess. All of those blend together.
We really need to take you to like a retreat to relax.
Why do you say that?
He just takes Cyrus's face and smooths the frown lines out. Yeah, I can see that you're 30 now.
The premature grey puts people off, but I think it adds character.
It's not the grey that makes you look 40. He puts his finger back between the frown lines.
Also, I don't know what I've done to deserve rudeness from you, but I think I might go and prepare breakfast, and I will talk to you later.
Oh, he'll catch his hand. I'm sorry. I'm a bit grumpy because you picked me up last night.
Who was going to let you sleep on the floor?
I like sleeping on the floor.
On the floor in the room full of flashing lights and a screaming cat person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loran or Shu? Sorry.
Yeah, both.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh, I yawned. I'm sorry I could not get your explicit consent, but I think that it was better that you slept on a comfortable bed after the day you had.
That's very kind of you. I apologise for saying you looked 40.
I'm going to go now. Get the others. He just slowly plods away.
You look really good for your age. It adds character.
Stop talking, Ulster. After exactly 2 minutes, you open the door. Sarazar is gone, apparently, actually, guys.
Yeah, that was my fault. So, we'll see you at breakfast.
Okay. Is breakfast
I told him he looked
outside?
40.
Oh. Okay.
We didn't take that very well.
Like in human years, or
Well, I was kind of just trying to make a point that he should relax and, not be angry all the time. But then he was sad. Which at least is a different emotion, but still causes wrinkles.
as Bluey's thinking about it, she's like,
Wrinkles aren't necessarily a bad thing. Anyway, hello, Slia.
Hello. Good morning.
So you've got your face on and your clothing, which is good. How about your mood? How are you feeling? You got a smile on? Probably not. Probably not a good morning. Average morning?
It is certainly a morning.
Well, we have an agenda as usual, so you don't have to participate if you don't want to. You can assert your boundaries at any time. But at breakfast, maybe we could all discuss our feelings, our thoughts, and see how we progress to the next stage,
In fact, at this point, I think you all teleport to breakfast because this just feels like the right place for you all to be. After a brief walk up to the upper deck, you guys see you see a few crates have been pulled around as usual. A low kind of because they are because you guys are anchored at the moment. There isn't too much worry about.
Sorry, I was wearing lip gloss and I kissed him and it felt really bad.
There isn't too much worry about the sea jostling about the food, though everything is obviously well cared for and protected in terms of breaking glasses, etc. And the crew have mostly sat around. It seems that they've been eating in shifts.
Who was the one that also almost made out with last time?
Ishan.
Yeah.
Ishan is, for funsies, sitting there by the barrels, looking up sheepishly and avoiding your eye at all costs. Ulster. I think that Tashara is also there, and a few nameless people who they've brought on just for this leg of the journey, who are tucking in and not making too much contact, but there is conversation to be found should you wish to have it. And you all sit down. Sarazar eventually comes over, and there is a spot left open, of course, for Loran. And also Mena and Dorina would also be here, kind of seated and just waving at you and scooting their crates open over, so that you are all now within range of all NPCs except Loran.
Where is Loran? He said he'd only be 5 hours. No, 2 hours.
Indeed.
Not 5 hours.
And I think that if Ulster says that out loud, too.
Yeah.
Where's Loran?
Where's Loran?
I think that Mena would lean forward and say, in massage to you, Ulster, I went to check on Shu, and he seems to still be wrapping up. He said he'd be up shortly, though. It did not seem that he had slept most of the night. And Sarazar just says, best we keep out of trouble then. If he is not rested, then we are a man down. We need to make sure that our numbers are secure.
Well, we'll deal with Shu. Right.
How do you suggest we help in that case?
Dealing with Shu. We need some way to knock her unconscious. And then I will rip her out of her flesh.
Do you want the strong of us to help hold her down?
I mean, if she's unconscious, maybe we won't need that. But maybe you can be on standby to like pull me out if she wakes up again. Just saying. I got part of her out last. Anyway.
Sarah looks confused when you say last time. Yesterday, right? So, from my understanding, Loran could use his magic to influence her in some way or subdue her. Though not for long, I imagine. So
I'll be quick.
Perhaps you could, much in the same way as the other day, bolster and try and get that last hit in.
I mean, if anyone can make me like 4 times stronger, that would be so appreciated.
Unfortunately, I cannot. I could give you a weapon or armor, but these things
I
seem
don't need those.
redundant for you, I was going to say. You know, so Slia, you notice that Sarah's every now and again looks kind of over at you, kind of curiously, but hasn't yet initiated a conversation.
Is there a question, Sarazar, or a duty that you can assign me?
No, you should rest. Definitely.
Is the duty rest?
I
Beauty
believe
rest.
so.
Everyone needs it. I heard it's very good for wrinkles.
I know very little about those who come back from as far as you went. Forgive me if I'm a little slow to accept what happened. Sometimes when people pass through the veil, they bring back dark things, or they come back changed.
Well, that's a good thing that didn't happen this time, and Slia is perfectly fine. Isn't that correct? Wow, what a riveting conversation about death and all that. But Slia, you're feeling much better, correct? Right? Yes?
I am as I was.
Exactly.
Insight, please.
Yeah.
Looking at their face when asked, you
Yeah.
know, you're feeling better, correct?
Can you move for a second?
I think that's a very good insight. I'm very surprised. That's a 22.
And he does that.
What did you get?
22.
22. Nice.
Sparks would see that as chipper as they're trying to be, they were shaken by the event.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they're putting on their best game face, like trying to be confident and calm for the group.
I think Sparks would lightly pat Slia on the shoulder and like offer a hand to hold or like I don't know if as in and not sort of make a face that's like, oh, you poor thing, but trying to show the empathy and also like not cause a scene that might make everyone go, oh, what's wrong with Slia? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, Slia would just kind of like lean their head on like Sparks' shoulder and take the hand.
I think you can comfortably do so. I just need to show you all something.
Ah.
Mr.
Baz's
Buzz.
turn.
Wait.
It is the best seat in the
Stella.
house.
Mr.
Young
Tarara.
boy.
Tummy, 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 tummy. Catch me if you can, Mr. Tarara.
Mr.
Lala.
Can you get out of my chair? Can you get out of my chair? I love you. That's my chair. Mummy's chair.
Hello, darling. I've been at work all day, so I haven't had much cuddle time with my children.
Kids. Oh, that's very funny.
Is that alright? Lala, is that alright? Is that quite alright?
Bless you.
Got to speak.
Excuse me. Oh, I am in fact allergic to cats.
Especially Lala.
Oh. Oh, is it? I love when you can feel their little face and going like
Oh, he was basically only being supported by my hand just then. Right, so as you guys kind of comfort one another and begin to discuss the steps ahead, the door to the lower deck opens and you see kind of groggily with a robe tied around his waist, wearing a pair of like hand wraps that are clearly just to kind of like strengthen his wrists from so much runic magic and weaving. Loranda Hain emerges, and he's got a very light, very very light stubble because he can't get better than that. We all know it. Growing just around his chin. And he kind of just collapses next to Ulster and a howl in Helsingin Castle. He just starts melting into you. And the whole ship, where it was once vibrant due to Loran's magic, starts to slowly get a little bit grimy and gross. And the whole crew is like, oh no, he's in a mood. Someone get him coffee, quick.
Sarah's to get him coffee.
Me?
He starts massaging Loran's temples.
Slia gets up to get Loran coffee.
I will get coffee. And Sarah gets up and wait, Slia, what did you say?
I said Slia gets up to get Loran coffee. Since Sarah's started putting up a fuss, it's like nope, nope. We're just it's getting done.
Okay.
Sarah, get him a hot towel.
I thought I was getting coffee.
Now,
but now I just resigned myself to coffee, so now I have to get a towel. Yes. I'll get a towel. Where does he keep towels?
Let's get a towel.
How do I make it hot?
Bring it to me and I'll do it.
Okay, he goes to get a towel. He dunks it in the nearest wash basin and he passes it to Ulster and says, alright, heat it up. At which point Loran twitches uncomfortably. Okay, Ulster.
Steam.
What are you using to warm it up? Let me check. What magical effect?
Why would Loran twitch?
He's scared of what you're going to do.
Just a little bit of flame. Just a little bit. I'm not. Wait, am I wearing the? No, I'm not wearing the pay night.
Okay, that's fine. I think Louie's got it, right?
Is it Loran?
I don't think Loran would have it in this moment.
Well, Sarah's it. Someone else took it.
Why didn't we write this down? Did anybody make notes? Otherwise, I'm going to randomly assign it based on character motivation.
If we did write it down, it would have been before the fight, yes?
Yes.
I know that Slia doesn't have it.
Yeah.
I thought
we can rule out Ulster and Slia then.
I thought Ulster had it still.
I mean, if we can't remember, I'm happy to still have it, I guess.
I think there was quite a long discussion, though, about passing it around. So I think it was Slia, not Slia, excuse me, Bluey, who ended up taking it. Because they've been doing quite a bit of the heavy lifting on that front due to the Constitution.
I actually think, to be 100% fair, I don't think Ulster, we actually did hand it to anyone.
Okay, well, we can always go back and
yeah. I
check
think there was a
later.
lot of talk
I
about
think
it.
that
and I
Loran.
it was going to be Bluey or Saraza. I could retcon and say that after the fight, because he did say he would do it after the fight, that he would probably have given it to Saraza because Bluey was looking after Slia.
I think that Loran's point. I actually think that the whole point Loran was saying it was because of the unpredictability of it during the fight. So I think we should just move on from that because it happened.
Okay, then Saraza's got it.
Then let's just say whatever happened during the fight happened. We can always go back and look to see how it went. Because I know that Loran specifically would have brought it up because of that.
Okay.
Rather than
Saraza
any
has
other.
It. Ulster heats
Saraza
it up.
has it now. Okay. You
There
heat
is
it
no
up,
explosion.
and Ulster, when you heat it up, you feel much more in control. I think you realise of the magic, although frustratingly, it comes much slower than you're used to. And it doesn't hurt as much as it usually does. The magic that you cast often through the Painite, whilst it is fast and effective, is, as you know, it wastes you away. Slowly but surely. You may be more naturally attuned to using it due to your ancestry, but that doesn't mean it's perfectly attuned to you. So, you have this realization about your magic. Pass through the layer of frustration to the satisfaction of being able to do this without any concern, and lay the hot towel. And Loran just goes, oh, and the whole place begins to like clean and pretty itself.
He's fine.
And he just like holds out a hand looking for the coffee.
Slia is like it's already like in Loran's hand.
Very good. Oh, more! And he holds up his hand. More, please.
Maybe just bring a thing over. What you call them? A drip thing.
Have you ever heard of Slia? Have you ever made masala chai? Can I have some of that, please? No, he's not that sad. I would love some masala chai.
Masala chai would
Anyway.
be fucking nice.
It's good. It's good you're back with us, Duran.
If you write me
He
a
nods and
recipe,
just
I
says-
can make it.
I can't write right now, so maybe later. Thank you.
I will lean over and whisper the recipe to Slia.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. She will go off and make him a masala chai. On a
Make
side
one for
note.
yourself as well.
The chai side quest takes place. It's wonderful.
I think Sparks would want to make sure that they're not like alone, and if they need any help with like heavy hot liquids, then yeah. So she'd join.
It
with,
seems
like
like doing something that requires like rhythm and routine is very soothing for Slia.
I don't think she'd necessarily like interrupt them. Yeah. Just to make sure that nothing bad happens.
Like, how close does like Bluey stand? Or Sparks, sorry.
Probably like 1.5 meters. Oh, 5 feet. 6.
Okay.
So you guys, you make a chai. You come back. Everybody is together again.
Cool. Once we're all together, also we'll slap the paper that he's been pointing at this entire time. Right. So, who's excited for the next stage in the grand design of my timetable for you all?
Loran just peels a corner of the cloth off and just looks at you like,
This is your plan that you're
I
talking
amended
about?
it last night.
Okay.
So, the next thing we have to do, he points at Mena and Dorina, is give you back to the Maasai. Hopefully, we can cope with Shu because she's in a magic circle. We'll do that, and then I will organise lunch with your clan leader. Who wants to come to lunch? I should take a guest list.
I could eat, Loran says.
This isn't going to be with your parents, is it? This is with
Oh no,
another.
no. This is with my ex-fiance.
Loran sits up,
Okay.
pulls off the towel. Speaking of fiancés, Ulster, I've been thinking long and hard about something.
Uh-huh.
I want to get married. Tomorrow. Crew! Begin wedding preparations.
Wait, that was not.
Hang on.
Also, it looks like his timetable.
There needs to be a yes from the other person, doesn't there? Usually.
Well, I mean,
Sparks? Remember who you're talking to. Anyway, Ulster, I already know your feelings on the matter. Would you like to reaffirm them for everybody to hear?
Yes, I'd love to get married, but I mean, tomorrow we can. Will that be enough time?
He pulls you aside.
Yes.
How long do your parents need? Wait, they're not coming. How long do my parents
If they
need?
turn
Are they
up, they
coming?
will literally kill you.
Didn't you say you needed someone from your family, though?
Yeah, I've invited Lucas, but we can get him here via telephone.
How long does he need?
I will. Okay. Also gets his timetable out and makes notes. I'll message him. I'll message Alibek because we need to go for lunch. That is important. Well, I suppose Mena and Dorina could come to the wedding and Alibek could come to the wedding as well, since he's already going to be here.
No, it makes sense that if you want to talk to Alibek, tell him he's coming to a wedding, and then everyone will just
Exactly.
slowly
And then
gradate.
Pikotari needs to come to the wedding, so we need to collect him. I suppose Marlena should also come, and that means I'll need to invite her family. And then we've got everyone here on the ship. So who are you inviting?
All of my friends are here.
All of your friends are here.
And the other friends I have are friends who you probably wouldn't want to meet. So then this is enough.
Right. All right. Okay. He turns back to the group. I agree to this wedding, I suppose.
Huzzah!
Thank you, Sparks, for your concern there, because yes, I was also very shocked. I don't like it when my timetable is changed with no warning. But it's fine, this is a good change, I'm happy.
Considering I was the one who made you wait in the first place, I can only say I'm sorry, Ulster, for delaying as long as I did.
That's fine. In that case, I have a few messages to send and some admin to do. I hate admin, so I will get that out of the way. Then, good friends.
What kind of admin?
Stia, admin, I need to message my ex-fiance, my ex-ex-fiance, my cousin, and then my second
Who is
cousin.
not one of his ex-fiancés.
No, we're
They're not that kind of royal.
Oh, that's not really the admin that I could necessarily help with. But
I can have the moral support if you want to rest.
I can
give you oral support if you want to rest.
I can
No.
help in other ways, like organizing things that need to get put together.
Why don't you do the decorations?
Sparks, Loran is staring at you with a big grin, seeing your blue scales turn a bit purple.
Oh, what's that up there?
Well, they can have their own. Slia, I would be more than happy if you would like to do whatever you want, really. But if you want to do some decorations, some like concepts, we can talk about that. I love making flower designs. So if you have any like color palettes, maybe you're interested in, and he just goes on and on and on about aesthetics.
I have fabric everywhere. We can make a drapery.
Drapery, good, good. Clothes, we'll need clothes. I haven't
Easy.
really decided a theme though. What should the colours be?
The colours should be whatever the hell we want to wear that is beautiful and shows off plentiful skin.
So, jewel tones, I think.
Sheer jewel tones.
Okay. Sparks?
Are we still heading somewhere for lunch with Alibek and Mena and Dorina's tribe?
We're going to Ironstone, but would it be quicker to bring them here?
Well, Mena and Dorina say, if we're here, he'll probably just come to us if there's a teleportation circle.
Well, then you'll need to clean because he is very particular.
He is my relative. I clean for none.
I was talking to Loran. We'll need to clean.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to...
No, you don't need to clean anything. You guys are fine.
I know.
But we will need to make the place presentable. So as not...
Loran looks around and says, it's perfect.
It's lovely. But...
why do you care about his opinion?
Because he has the potential to, if he gets wind of the fact that I'm not marrying Pukotaro, he might tell my parents.
Why don't you just tell him you're not marrying Pukotaro and ask him to keep it a secret?
Ooh. How about I just judge
Because you've done a good thing for him.
Yeah, but I could just judge how upset he is with me at first. And then we can decide if we're going to do that.
Right. Also, as you guys are kind of watching this conversation unfold, you see Saraz's jaw is just on the floor this entire time, like, what on earth is going on? He obviously knew you guys were going to get married, but the Loran's outburst and the subsequent planning taking off so rapidly has shocked him, it seems. And Loran ignores that completely.
Well, who's excited? I'm excited. Shall we... When should we deal with Shu?
I'd want to do that.
No, let's
first. But after I finished eating, maybe.
Yeah. Loran, is that okay?
Yeah. Look, I swear, there is no manic exhaustion energy talking here whatsoever. I am 100% serious. I haven't even had a single bottle of wine today. I've only had a few glasses.
Uh-huh. Well, how about we let everyone finish their food, you have another cup of coffee, I will try and do as much of my admin as possible, and then we'll just see where the day takes us.
Okay.
Can't agree more.
And Stux is a bit confused with you saying that, given you like the timetable, like see where the day takes us is...
Oh, there's no flexibility, Sparks. You look at the timetable, it is planned out meticulously over the next few days, and he's just added in arrows where he can maybe fit in a wedding, maybe fit in a lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just let you guys look at that. And then he gets up and he's going to go message a few people with his little stone.
Okay. Hang on, have you finished having breakfast or still?
Oh, he's completely done. Do you notice, like, sprigs of grapes all around where he was sitting? That seems to be the only thing he ate.
Because there's nothing else here to eat, or is it...
There is, like,
He's
bowls.
very particular. And he loves fruit.
I think there are bowls of, like, dried fruits, raisins, fresh fruit on a boat, unless you've made it yourself. I think
You get the vibe he might have made these himself.
Okay, they're all wonky.
They're all wonky, yeah.
For everyone else, there is stewed oats, and there's coffee, there's chai, freshly prepared by Slien Sun. And, okay, so you guys do your necessary admin, and Loran has a nap. About an hour later, once you guys have finished food, he wakes up and sort of just says, right, let's get this out of the way.
So just to reiterate, I've messaged Alabek to come for a late lunch. I've messaged Pukotaro to join for that. And I've messaged Lucas to come tomorrow for a wedding.
Okay, for sure.
Okay. And Marlena and her family.
Okay, cool.
A late lunch today?
The lunch is today, the wedding is tomorrow.
Okay.
The wedding is tomorrow, my friends.
Tomorrow, guys.
And Slea's going around the boat just starting to clean.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Because Ulster said it was
actually, I think when they start cleaning, Loran starts looking all anxious and just sort of says, just like, can you just make sure this doesn't move and this doesn't move? And I like this where it is. And this is like this way for a specific reason. And this pile of books, I ordered them that way. So even though they look like there's no order there, don't move those. In fact, if you want to clean, do you want to clean this tiny square?
Can I come back
Astra
in?
actually doesn't.
No, my piles, my stuff.
Please.
Astra isn't actually moving anything out of place. It's just like prestidigitation and then moves like 5 feet. Prestidigitation moves over another 5 feet. Prestidigitation. It's just like that, like super like.
Prestidigitation isn't real cleaning.
It's just
I think all I said,
cleaning, like particle cleaning.
You're cleaning the. Wait, can I just say, I kind of see prestidigitation as like cleaning dust, like picking up each particle, going like, and putting it back. I'm not even. So, like, every time I like imagine it's like, when you wake up, you don't have time for a shower, so you use deodorant. It's like, okay.
It's like dry shampoo.
Yeah, it's like dry shampoo. Oh my god. Anyway, that's just a headcanon I have. What is this?
Yeah,
oh, it's a
I love the prestidigitation is my favorite cantrip because it's like, oh man, if I could just snap my fingers and literally clean the litter box, if I could snap my fingers, clean the dishes,
That is
just
what
that is
I
why
would do that.
I always take it. It's like, okay, cool, I have done the quick shower, you know.
wish fulfillment. It is wish
This
fulfillment.
is true.
Okay. Loran gathers you guys on the lower deck and just says, with my magic, I can make her more docile. But if there is anything anybody else would like to do to try and strengthen that, I would much appreciate. Alster, by no circumstances are you to take a hit.
What if I get a scratch?
I believe you can take her out in one turn, let's say,
Okay.
with the state that she is in. She has not been able to recover any of her power, not whilst she is bound by my magic. But still, for comfort's sake, Ulster, I'd appreciate it if you didn't treat yourself like a human punching bag.
I'm very tough.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Mhm.
I will do my best.
I'm trying to look through spells to
I mean, you and Sarza could actually just hold her down. I don't think there's any problem with that.
Mm-hmm. Sarza says, I will do what is required.
Can use your body weight to just dangle off her.
Dangle where? This is a short room. We're in the cargo hold.
I was imagining. I was using my imagination.
Oh, of course. I can hold her over my head, but she's very large, so
No.
Bluey's
Just pin her. Just pin. You guys can just like hold on to her shoulders. You know.
Okay. I'll take her arms, you take her feet.
I have a question as a player to
Yes.
Lily. In the Discord chat, I put the start of the description of ceremony. And the first thing on there is atonement.
Okay.
Where you no?
So it wouldn't work because it's not her alignments that's the problem.
Okay.
So basically, we just need to get her out of her flesh prison.
All right.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a good idea, but she's not evil, so I don't think it would work. So.
Okay.
But it's a good idea. We should maybe try that with Gerald.
If he's
No,
willing, then it
Atonement, I've
restores
never
an alignment. You
Maybe
touch
his alignment is always evil.
Yeah.
But does that not beg the question? Restores your original alignment. Your original alignment of birth is true neutral.
Yeah. You touch one willing creature whose alignment has changed, and you make a DC 20 Wisdom Insight check. On a successful check, you restore the target to its original alignment.
That's such an interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, because
I
it's
do like
suggesting
waiting,
that your original alignment was inherently good by the fact that it's called atonement.
Anyway,
That'd be quite interesting.
I'm
Let's use
going
it
to
on
take
someone
this
here.
spell tomorrow because it has wedding.
Wedding.
let's do it.
Fuck.
Okay.
All right, I will put on some leather armor to prevent myself easily getting bitten.
Mhm.
I look stupid.
Okay. Loran says, all right.
Maybe I could provide you with this. And Slia passes over like a small buckler. So you get the shield AC as well.
Cute.
What's a buckler?
It's like
I'm stupid.
You're not stupid. It's a small shield.
Oh.
Like a little
So can I
wrist
just add a
shield.
Hmm.
Do I just add shield to my inventory?
Yeah.
I'm guessing
It
like
should be a
normal
+2.
shield.
Yeah, it should just be a +2.
Wow.
Let me try this.
It looks like a dinner plate.
Yeah, I brought my armor class up. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think
He
Sparks
looks
would also.
so
Oh, sorry.
abnormal, covered in armor with his little shield. He's like,
Loran gives you a kiss on the forehead, twirls a bit of your hair in his finger, and then lets go and just says, right then.
I feel heavy
That is the lightest shield you could possibly have.
and sweaty.
I think
You'll be fine.
Sparks puts hers on and puts a shield on and be like, just does a what she thinks is a light tap on you. You know, don't worry, you'll get used to it.
He jangles and falls
Oh,
forward.
shit!
Wow.
You fall face first.
He gets back up.
Oh,
Ugh.
sorry.
Sarazo's like, oh no. If I hadn't seen you fight yesterday, I would have said this was a suicide mission.
Well, I am very tough,
Mm-hmm.
he says in his small voice from within all the armor. You guys, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Sarah
Onwards.
and I,
Indeed.
ready to
You guys
scrum
are gonna be-
tackle.
Yeah, you're gonna tackle her, and I'm gonna get on top, and then I'm gonna rip her out.
Okay.
Do not say anything. He looks at the rest. Okay, let's go.
My brother is involved, but I'm not saying a word. Okay. He leans down and he places his hands at the foot of the circle. What you see is this kind of like glowing pillar of light that's vaguely translucent, almost like a thin like sheer, like almost fabric curtain. And inside, Shu at the moment is like taking running jumps at each side of the wall, and the moment she hits it, it becomes solid static
She
rather
happy
than
I'm
like
alive
flowing, and that reverberates all across the fabric, and it kind of sends a flash across it. And every time she hits it, Loran goes,
Okay.
"My God, okay." She's such a bitch.
Well, she's not always like that.
I know. If you knew how much this hurt, you'd say the same.
She did eat people once.
Birds of a feather. Right. And he pulls up his hands, and as he does so, you see he just kind of like starts weaving them between one another and picking apart a like hole in the fabric. And she sees it, rushes back, and starts running forwards. And Loran is like, "Get in there now."
Okay, goodbye.
Okay.
So Sparks and Saraza, you get the impression you guys want to be going in fast.
Yes. I think I would have suggested grappling. So if he can
You want to grapple
target,
with advantage?
yes. Like if
Is it
Yeah, I
Saraza's
guess-
help?
if we did I say Loran? I'm sorry, I meant to say Saraza.
No, I don't think you did, but I assumed
Okay.
that you were talking about Saraza, so I said his name anyway.
Saraza going for one part of the body and Sparks going for the other. So if that means I have advantage on the athletics that I will use, in which case she can use either athletics or acrobatics to beat.
Can I make an interjection before the dice are rolled? Can I cast guidance on Sparks?
On an ability check, you can add it, yeah.
And I can choose to add it. Is it for this roll?
You can choose to add it whenever you want for the next minute.
And guidance is a D4, right?
Mhm.
They're both 16 on the dice.
Do you want to see what I rolled?
I think I will do guidance. I'll do guidance with. Fuck, you can't see it. It's purple.
Purple.
Is it the Royal Purple Borealis?
Is it the Royal? That's such a cute name.
As in the Chessex?
Yeah. Yep, those are. Yeah, that's the ones. Those were my first set of dice.
Sorry, the chat went back. Okay, yep. Alright, I'm good. Okay, so that's 18 plus 6. It's 24. 24 athletics against whatever shoes rolled.
Okay, Shu rolled a natural 1.
Okay.
So,
She's grappled.
brilliant, first of all. Very good. And you guys see as Loran opens up this curtain, you rush forward and she tries to like slipstream around you, but in doing so falls like flat onto her side and tries to scrabble up, but by that point you're like rugby tackling her down. And she is lashing out and she is just caught in your grasp. And actually Sparks, she is incredibly strong. Obviously this is a natural 1, so it doesn't quite convey, but you saw her with her own body weight basically turn herself into a cannon and beat Sleia to death in a matter of rounds. And at the moment, she is kind of held against her will, but your muscles are like straining, and Sarazar is like braced over her knees and is just kind of like hugging them under him, using his entire body to weigh down the strength of her legs, kicking upwards. And you guys are wearing armor, so you can get the impression that she's a fairly intense adversary. If this takes more than 1 round, you're going to have to redo your grapple check.
Yeah.
So,
Sparks would say to Ulster, whatever you do, make sure she isn't moved away by an effect or spell. Just trying to keep her here.
Right. Ulster comes in. And he's going to jump on top of Shu.
Okay. Jump on top of her and the ship kind of quakes back and forth. There's a kind of creak that rushes over the water. And as Shu kind of roars, you hear the kind of like the pillar of light that Loran has conjured sort of re-sewing itself together. Each time the sort of fibers meet, they hiss and reforge until you guys are trapped in there with her. Looking back, you see that he is kind of bowed at the edge of the circle with hands on the floor, watching you. There's like a slight sheen on his brow. And Sleia, are you standing by watching, or do you have any other thing you would like to be doing to aid in this?
I'm going to, since guidance was used, I mean that's really all I can do because it's concentration. So I'm just going to be standing near enough that I'm on. You
could cast guidance on the round if you want
to. Okay, I will do that then.
You don't have to, but I was just saying if you wanted to use it, if that's what you were suggesting. But if not, then that's
whoever the next person to make a check with is.
It's just that we're about to be entering a turn-based thing, so you would be able to. That's why I'm establishing everyone is. Just so you know.
Perfect. I will go ahead and yes, I will take the recommendation and cast it on Loran.
Okay, cool. Right. So we're going to start with Ulster, but would everybody, please, including you, Ulster, can you please make just a d20 roll with your initiative, just so that we know the order in which things happen?
16.
Okay.
10.
Okay. And Sleia?
Sorry, just checking my modifier. That's a 4.
No.
Okay. Right. So, like I said, we're going to start with Ulster, but then we will then we will continue the round and reset. And the top of the round, I will just let you know when we're at that. But we're going to start with Ulster and follow from there. So Ulster,
yeah,
you brace yourself over Shu. What would you like to do?
I think he just says, "I'm sorry," and then he's going to cast Primal Savagery on himself and rip his jaw open and bite into her neck.
Okay.
And I'll roll to hit. 19 to hit.
19 to hit was going to hit.
Where's the d10? 9, 3, 11 points of acid damage.
Okay, 11 points of acid damage. Okay, she's still alive.
See if I can do anything else. Someone should have hastened me.
Loran is concentrating.
That's fine. I can't really do more than that, to be honest.
Okay. It's alright. It's not over just because it's gone one round, just so you know. It's just that there's obviously always the possibility that they'll have to redo their grapple check.
I mean, ultimately, he can't do more damage than that without causing an area of an effect spell, and he has to physically get her. Oh no. That's fine. He's also level 5. So I think that's...
You're level 5?
Yeah.
Yes. I
Okay.
think you did check recently. Oh, okay.
I thought, oh, hello, darling. Well, I think it'll make story sense to do this after the fight. So, okay. Oh, my little man. This is Loran Dehane.
Oh.
I chose him because he looked like Loran.
That's the only reason you're here, Lala.
It's because Abyssinians have red fur and green and yellow eyes. You're the best thing that's ever happened to us, and so is that. I pointed to Baz, by the way, just so you know, not Astarion. But that's also one of the best things that's ever happened to us, and the most expensive things that ever happened to us. Right, so Ulster, wrapping up your turn, Sparks. You are in a turn order. Is there anything you would like to do to help Ulster?
Like, oh.
You could also do something to improve your chances of succeeding the grapple. For example, you could do the help action on Saraza, who is going to assist you, which means you could effectively roll 3 times rather than 2. You could do something flavor-wise with like a weapon to help with a shield.
I think if I were to help Saraza, okay. When Shu takes an action on her turn to try and escape the grapple, and therefore either Saraza and I would roll to keep the grapple, is that a reaction from me?
No, so you're going to... she's going to try and break a grapple, which would re-trigger... which could re-trigger a grapple check from you guys. You could make a trigger for an action, Shu attempting to break the grapple. You could do something, for example, like a non-lethal strike. If you have any of the fighter class abilities, you could do things like a stun. I'm just sort of... obviously, let me look at the character sheets.
I don't...
If you can't think of anything, you just want to just do something RP as well, and that's fine.
When you are grappling a creature, you can move them at half your speed if they're not like tiny or whatever. Maybe I might ask Saraza to help. Like, oh no, but Ulster's on top of her. I was thinking like exposing. No, it'd probably be better for him to like target the same area. Okay. Otherwise, I could do watch as well, but I don't think that would really help you. But I might do it anyway. Okay. Me.
Okay, can I give you a
and-
suggestion for what Sarazar is going to do
Oh yes.
to help
okay.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. Just for example, Sarazar is going to use the improvise action to slam his shield, which has a slight curve over the throat of Shu, so that if she moves, she's not going to be able to move her head entirely.
I'm gonna get some juice.
Mm,
You know, the kind of classic, like in End of the Fellowship of the Ring with the Uruk-hai when they're fighting Aragorn, and he gets the shield slammed into a tree and he has to duck out of it before they can cut his head off. That kind of thing.
Then I would get ready to like move to grapple a part of Shu's body that Sarazar isn't taking care of, like because he's focusing with the shield at her head.
Yeah, okay. So you
Yeah.
can ready, if it looks like she's going to attack Ulster, you can try and grapple that specific part of her to give her disadvantage on any attack.
Okay,
Should we do it that way? Okay,
I'd
cool.
like to do that then. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, Sleia, what are you doing? Anything at all? Or are you just going to hold out for now?
I think I will actually. I will cast guidance on Sarazar to give him a D4 for this round, or if he needs it.
Okay. Okay. So, with that in mind, at the top of the round, she was going to attempt to escape the grapple. She does
Okay.
not succeed. I can just tell you that already. But please, if you need to roll anything, do roll it just in case.
I mean, it has to succeed on an athletic or acrobatics check.
Contested by your strength check. Well, I'm just telling you, it's very low.
Shall I roll it anyway? Because that's
Roll it anyway. Let's see.
Okay.
Because it's not a natural one, but it's very, very low.
With advantage or just straight?
No, with advantage because you have
It's the
you
both
and
of us.
Sarah have worked together to put yourself in the best possible position for this.
Yeah. So that's a 25.
Okay, they rolled a 3 on the dice plus 7, so 10. But so it was pretty low. But compared to a paladin who has also got amazing strength, I've had a feeling.
We get the job done.
You're listening to Real Paladin FM, where we listen to prayers, and more prayers.
And workout music.
Yeah. Wake me up! Wake me up inside! Okay, so managing to grapple her once more, Loran is able to keep the pillar up without feeling the strain of keeping.
What is this music?
I don't know. This isn't quite right.
It's like ukulele music.
So, Sarazar strengthens his hold. Loran keeps concentration on the pillar. Ulster, it's your go again.
Okay. I do the exact same thing.
She looks like she's
Natural
about
20.
She's on. Yeah, let's go, man.
So,
Hey, describe it to me.
okay. Ulster will rear back again, and this time when he bites down, I think he just does it with so many more teeth than before.
Oh,
You don't know where they're coming from. They're just appearing along the ridges of his skull, and that will be double damage. So 8.
Someone thinks we got married, and they're messaging me really panicked. Like, why didn't you tell me?
What?
Yeah, what? Have we posted something that makes it look like we got married?
Who?
My friend from Japan.
Thinks we got married? Why?
I really don't know.
What did they say?
He said, I'm really confused. I said, I'm sorry, you and Lily got married and didn't let us celebrate it. Dude, I'm so happy for you. And I'm like, great. So I said, what? Married? Did we? Oh no. I'm surprised. 29. Oh, fuck, yes.
When is this?
Mike, we played D&D together.
Who?
Mike, he was in the D&D campaign. He was,
Lincoln's brother?
No. That was a different. That was the guy who was the ALT before me. That's a soft story. Don't worry.
Okay, never mind. What? I'm so confused. Anyway.
Yeah, I wonder what. So, Ulster, with a whopping amount of damage, you bite down on Shu's throat, and you just tear back, and there is this stillness from her all at once. And then, like, as if bursting forth from this chrysalis that she has been trapped in, her form far too large for it now, that enough of a wound has been opened up that she can finally escape it, you see a rush of just white, as rather than this huge humanoid figure bursting from the chest cavity, you just see an arm, elegant paw. Yeah.
Can I shout at Larantin that Saraza and Sparks out, because we're going to get crushed inside this small space with all of us.
Okay. He can start opening it, but it is 10 feet by 10 feet.
Yeah. I don't want all of us in there though.
For sure. I think he would just drop it at this
Okay.
point. So he just drops it so you guys can step back. Because that is far quicker than completely opening and closing it. He trusts you. And he takes his hands away from the floor. And the threads sort of snap from them. And you guys watch as one arm, white and elegant, long-pawed, taps on the floor. Another crawls out. And then the head follows. And it is elongated. And there's something about the eyes of this creature that are humanoid, but feline in its features. It doesn't sit comfortably in any category for an animal that you could imagine. And yet it's not really a monster either. It's hard to look at. But this is Shu. This is the true form of Shu. And you know it because...
Or is it?
Well, it's not her original form, but it is the form that she has come to claim. You know this to be true because a moment later a wing unfurls from within the chrysalis, and another, and then she is fully free, covered in blood and viscera, but beneath it you know there is a creamy kind of whitish fur. And she sort of stalks around, stretching her legs, uncomfortable below the deck, looking up. Kind of.
Can I go and clear the blood from her eyes?
She like opens them like a frog almost. And when she sees you, she just like Lala.
He always gets knocked over.
And then she starts grooming you.
Ah, yes, I know. He unbuckles the armor and throws it off. That's better, isn't it?
You're okay, right?
Yeah. He's just like covered in slobber. He's like, yeah, it's good. Can we maybe get her above deck before she drowns me?
Loran is looking like enamored at this
This is
creature.
Shu, yeah.
She's beautiful.
She is beautiful. She's very dirty. Very stinky Shu.
I imagine she would prefer salt and water rather than magic.
Yes.
Understood? And Loran clicks his fingers, and the hole kind of just like opens up above you. These like pulley, like kind of on a pulley system. These that's fueled by magic. The ceiling opens almost like a skylight, leaving in a beam of the sort of like the late morning light. And the moment it opens, Shu just kind of like looks up, eyes wide, and then you feel her wings kind of like twitching. And Ulster, you can tell she wants to fly.
Okay. Let me just check something.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to do something. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Okay. Never mind.
Seeing this, Sarasa starts pushing you back, Bluey, and puts his arm in front of you, Sleer. Loran is like, is she about to? And then she takes 2 trotting steps back, opens her jaw, bites your scruff, and then flies.
Well,
and then
it's fine.
Loran says, a fucking cat kidnapped my man! And it wasn't me!
I guess, like, look, Sparks would be trying to position herself underneath in case Ulster falls.
I think Loran would say, right, who wants to go flying? And after a moment, whips out the magic carpet.
Sure.
Hop on or stay behind to be boring, I guess.
Can I swing myself with shoes back?
You can, yeah. And you have a moment of just you and her up in the sky.
Big
Cuddles, and she just kind of like barrel rolls you around, and she seems like much returned to her previous self, though there is still a bit of a tremor in her shoulders and a discomfort as she kind of gets used to her monstrous form once more. And you are quickly gained on by the carpet, which carries... Who wants to come along? Sparks? I think Sarasa would have stayed below.
Yeah,
And
Sleia would stay below as
Sleia
well. Probably
would
just
stay.
be cleaning
Right.
up whatever like messes below.
what? No, actually, Loran will not allow it. He'll be like, don't be boring. And he'll reach a hand out for you.
Leah
Yeah.
just fucking died. I don't want her to fall off.
But we want her to live, don't we?
Yes, and
Sleia, you're 3
they
seconds
still
to
have ears. And if Sparks isn't comfortable with it, I'm just fine staying here.
I just, like, because we don't know Shu, like, I don't think Sparks would want any risk to, like...
Loran
Sleia.
flies off. He says, I trust Ulster wholeheartedly.
You hear Ulster's delighted noises.
Sparks, if you don't, he pushes you. You can stay below as well. But he's not pushing you so hard that he actually fall off. It's more of like a joke. So if you want to go, you can go.
I'll come with.
Slay. He flies.
We fly. We ball.
Bluey, kick your feet off the ground. It'll be more fun. You'll feel like you're floating. And also, you see Bluey and I keep saying Bluey and Sparks and Loran flying up after you, their feet billowing behind them. And Loran's going super fast, super vertical, like he's on a roller coaster. He's like, hold on, Bluey. And seeing this Shu, almost as if feeling the challenge, like kind of like narrows her wings and does one massive push and flies alongside. And there's like a moment where they're kind of like gaining on each other. And you look down and you see that the ship is about the size of a small apple. And Loran says, okay, ready?
I'll beat you.
3, 2, and you guys dip down. You go kind of like nosedive towards the water. It's a game of chicken, Ulster, and I feel like we're going to tie. And you get closer and closer and closer and closer. And I want you to roll me a dexterity check. And whoever rolls higher...
Actually, can I do something?
Yeah, sure.
As we approach the water, I think, obviously not pulling a Keyleth, he's going to wait until we're like 10 feet, jump off, and turn into a dolphin and dive into the water.
No, that is a keyleth.
No, it's not, because wait till we're 10 feet.
No, that's not how it works.
It is how it works. She jumped 300 feet.
Okay,
I'm jumping
but
10.
you understand the game of chicken is you go as fast as you can
Jump
and
up.
then pull off.
Yeah, jump
So
up.
Loran is going so fast as to almost be falling.
Okay, I'm going to jump up. I'm not playing chicken.
You're not playing the game.
No, I'm jumping off.
Oh, okay. Loran looks disappointed and says,
Oh my god, how do you want me to do this? You've ruined it. Fine, I won't do it.
No. You can do it. Go on. So you turn into a dolphin.
Yeah, I just want to go in the water. It'll be fun.
Okay, for sure. So I would say you probably...
He won't do it in a way that fucking kills himself, okay? He will not be stupid.
Yeah. I'm just worried because the velocity you guys are traveling at the moment is...
He will do it in a way that it won't break. He won't
Yeah.
hit terminal speed, okay?
Do you want to roll the dex check anyway to see who won the game?
I don't think he's... I think he wants Lauren to let him think he won and then dive off. There's no game of chicken. He's going in.
Okay, for sure. I think Loran would then just abort it and just let you do your thing, and he'll fly around and just have fun with you.
I think Spark's like holding onto his hand on the rug, like please.
Sure. And he's like, no, not yet. And then you see this magnificent dolphin just fly by you. He's like, ah, and he almost forgets. And then he's like, oh wait, and then pulls you back up. And Shu just kind of like skims her paw across the surface of the water, and it is a really magnificent time for everybody involved. Ulster, as you kind of like sink below the water, you just pulled further into the quiet, into the deep, and you look down. You can't see the bottom, but you see schools of fish beneath the sea. You can see just about where the anchor kind of fades. You think you're not too deep, but it's deep enough that it's a little disconcerting. And you follow some of the currents. You come to a sort of a area which looks a little bit higher. There are like sandbanks peeking up as you kind of like swim around the water, and you resurface just every now and again, doing a few of those like classic dolphin jump leaps. Loran
I try to jump scare Sparks and Loran.
Mm-hmm. Sparks, does it work?
Look, I mean, we did see a dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
If he's moving fast enough to leap out of the water like so quickly, I think it could work.
Oh, I think Loran coordinates with your jumping so that he's like threading the needle between your jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is like a magical dream. Like
Yeah. He looks down at the carpet and he says, Sparks, you know how to fly this thing, right? Lefty loosey, righty tighty, and he just kind of jumps off. And going much slower now, obviously. Jumps into the water and sort of like floats there for a moment, all stare, and is just like kind of watching you. He's like,
I'm gonna swim at him and catch him.
yeah, he wants to ride the dolphin.
I know he does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Sparks like,
I don't that was meant to be an endearing.
cute.
I think she's focusing still on. Okay, so he's alive. All right, good. Okay,
He's still alive. Good. It's an all-around fun time.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to look at as Sarazar and as Sleia on the boat? Like,
You guys can't see, I'm afraid, because you're below deck. So if you went up to the top deck, though, after I assume this would go on for a while, you could eventually kind of watch and just see some of the more
Wait,
fun stuff.
for a second.
Hang on.
I do think that Sleia at least would go up above deck and just kind of like look over the rail to watch.
we're putting on quite a show. That's better than SeaWorld, you know.
As you guys are in the waters, you feel the kind of like a sort of pull in the torrents, and obviously Ulster and Loran being below water playing Little Mermaid, it's a little harder to see. Also, Sparks, however, on the back of the carpet, you've kind of wobbling, figuring it out. You maybe have used this before.
I have used the carpet, but
There was
Testing you.
an explosion in the bottling factory at the very beginning, which caused all of you to like kind of slow motion fall through the air, if you remember. And Loran caught you on the carpet. So I think you would remember this. And you're kind of like very slowly, like my first driving lesson, like parallel parking it alongside the boat, and you keep knocking into it and having to readjust. Me parking every day, guys.
I'm close to the curb. Nemesis.
No, this isn't the thing. If I go up on the curb, I know I'm close
She does
enough.
this thing where she mounts the curb with the car.
I don't do it on purpose
Just to make
sometimes.
Just to make sure I'm close enough. And I'm like, fail at your driving test
Yeah, but I passed it when it counted.
after the 6th.
You can
At least it
ask
was the 14th attempt on my theory, like
I
James.
No.
Yeah, you don't drive now.
No.
No. That's what I thought. I drive. I'm driving us everywhere.
That's so true. I can't drive a manual because that's so old.
Yeah, the car's old. I don't know what you're on about, mate. I don't know what you're on about, mate.
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 I'm so sorry to interject. Lily, did you get to your fulls or like green peas or red peas?
I'm on my full, so I've
Okay.
updated my license, but I can't get my license until I have a fucking eye test. And I'm not in Australia, so I don't know how that's going to happen. I need to ask my GP, hopefully. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
that's funny but frustrating. That's it.
But that is true.
Hmm.
Anyway, don't worry. We'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Me.
Carpet dolphin sphinx show.
Yeah.
And it's free.
And you guys fly around, and Sparks, as you're kind of like parking the the carpet, and Sleer and Saraza, as the two of you kind of go up onto the deck. Actually, quickly. Sleer, if you're sticking with Saraza, well, are you sticking with Saraza?
Yeah, probably. Unless he wants to go off
Yeah.
and do his own thing.
Sure. Hang on one sec.
Has a cat done something?
Sorry, I keep banging myself when I say so.
Oh. Ah, Lily has
that-
transformed.
Lily's a cat.
Can't leave my chat for 2 seconds.
So when
Can I have it back?
you go onto the top deck with Saraza, Sleer, Mena and Dorina are there, and they're just wide-eyed watching Shu as she kind of soars through the air, briefly, obviously, without or still on her back, as he is with Loran below the water and sort of jumping around the carpet and all that.
We will
And,
eventually bring her
Yeah.
up for it. I'm going to.
of course. And Shu kind of dips below the water briefly, and guys, you see her underneath, and you see her disappear below the surface, Sleer. And she breaks back out, and there's a spray of sea foam, and she's completely just cleaned, and she shakes out and just kind of bats her wings, her just flying, keeping her dry. And Mena and Dorina,
Flying around. Flying.
Shu, yeah, that's what Shu looks like. And Mena and Dorina just all stand there in awe, and Mena just says, "I've dreamed of seeing her like this."
She is truly magnificent.
I wish we knew more about her.
Well, if you learn anything, I would love to know, if you wouldn't mind sharing the knowledge, though I understand that it might be private to your culture.
Somewhat secret. But if you ever visit our lands, give my name and I'll see what I can show you.
I will do this, thank you.
Besides, I have a feeling you're going to learn a lot from her. I think she's found her person.
Her great, 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 great grandson.
Who knows?
Who knows?
So, you
Or grandnephew. We never established.
sort of watch the scene unfold, and as I was saying, you feel a strange pull on the currents. And Sparks and Slia above water, you notice there is a small but well-crafted, beautifully made sailing vessel coming from the direction of a prey land towards the ship. It carries a flag, which doesn't seem to give away any specific royal family or insignia. However, you guys remember encountering a group of people who were rather discontented with the way things were being run, whose colours ended up being a gold and a green, who, and I'm reminding you all of this just because it was so long ago, who once interrogated revealed themselves to be the progenitors of the Werenbach, the order you guys all ended up joining. And it was obviously Sobek and his people who were kind of involved in that. And with that in mind, you see a few individuals who you recognize on this ship heading for the Valentine, which is Duran's ship's name.
Smell like kibble.
At the front of this sort of ship, standing as if to kind of like reach out and make it known they are not pirates or enemies. You see Marlena Winterbrand holding the scabbard of her sword and just kind of waving it like, ugh. And standing alongside her are a couple of individuals who you may or may not have anticipated arriving. Of course, Ulster, noticing this, you kind of scrabble full around and you guys start swimming back towards the sea.
I'll pull
the
back
boat.
on shoe and we'll fly back.
Sure, you guys head back towards the ship. Rolling down a ladder for the new arrivals, you see coming up in this exact order. First off, Marlena. And Marlena just sort of says, short notice, Dad and brother couldn't come, but I'm here. So, happy wedding.
Ulster and Ryan is soaking wet.
You're wet.
We were just swimming.
Okay. I might have a swim, actually. And she starts taking her armour off. You get the impression she's just going to dive off the side. After her... Okay.
Is it curved?
Oh my! I don't think I'm going to make it! I don't think I'm going to make it! And there's a very manicured hand which just kind of slams
Go grab him.
and just kind of like... Oh. He needs that. I need
I
help.
will pull Kev up into my arms and give him a hug.
Also,
Except I'm
yes.
sopping wet, so he's immediately sopping wet.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
it's all right. Nothing could dampen my mood today, even if my clothes are dampened and my... Anyway, chest is somewhat exposed. He grabs your hands. You're... Ulster,
He doesn't know he's running around.
is it true you've made a royal match?
I've made a royally amazing match. I know, isn't that wonderful?
May I have permission to hug you once more?
Of
But
course.
only if... Ah!
I pat his shoulder.
And he hugs you very tightly. And,
Sansa, could you bring us a towel again? You know when towels are, right?
hello, you're tall. I mean... Wait a second. Haven't we met before? You're beefier than I remember.
No, that's a different one.
And Sarah just says, no, we haven't met before. But I will get you a towel. And he stalks off.
Do we also have towels, Sarah? Like 3 towels? That'd be great.
I'm not a maid.
Please.
Yes. And then he goes off again. Okay, well, with that done, the next to come up over the edge of the hang on. Who was in your house? It was
Kev Marlena.
Kev Marlena,
Pikatar,
Pikatar,
of course.
Chorus. But they're the same person.
Yeah.
The last person to come over is Chorus, who smiles and says, Ulster, thank you for reaching out to me. That's a lovely ship.
It's Loran's boat.
Ah, Loran! And he kind of goes over and he's like, come here.
We're both soaking wet.
Right. And he offers a handshake to both. And Loran just kind of goes, wonderful, your majesty. He's like, I'm actually highness.
I will properly take his hand.
Thank you, Ulster. And he just says, he leaned in. Kev's been talking non-stop about our royal elopement. Do you think this is happening? I think we need to have a chat.
We do, yes. Also, this is so embarrassing to keep saying. My ex-fiance is also coming.
Why?
Because he needed to pick them up, but then we realised that they should probably come to the wedding. So then he's going to come to the wedding, but also I need to officially end things with him so I can have a talk with you and then officially end things with you so I can marry Loran.
So when you engaged to me, you were also already engaged
No.
to another.
No. The thing is, I sent him a letter.
Right.
And he would not accept the letter because it didn't come from my parents. And all the letters between us had to go through our parents. So therefore it wasn't official or formal. In fact, neither of us asked each other to get married. It was our parents who agreed we should get married. So were we ever
And
engaged
that's a bit
in the first
archaic.
place?
I don't think so, personally. I mean, I can't see why he would get upset. And maybe he has some attachment to you. Were you close?
I pushed him in a rose bush once.
Loran looks at you impressed. You pushed him in a rose bush. Nice.
Yeah,
Why?
he tried to kiss me. I didn't want to kiss him.
Oh.
Mm.
And he laughs. Fair enough.
We were like 15 and 13.
Yeah, fair enough. And then Chorus says, well, All-Star, I assume you're marrying, and he just points wordlessly to Loran. And I just want to say, I understand completely. You make your decisions, I make mine. My heart will recover. And he kind of gives you a little jovial. But could I please actually, I mean, I understand if you want to keep it for your parents' sakes, but
I will
ring.
return the ring.
Thank you. It is. I know you don't need to know this, considering you are yourself incredibly wealthy, but it is incredibly sentimental and important to my family and the crown jewels.
Yes, I will return it. We do have the small matter of judging Alabek's mood when he arrives, because if he's in a really bad mood, we might just tell him that we're still getting married and he can just go. But if he's in a really good mood and seems to be fully accepting of the situation, happy to stay with Mena and Darina, who I'm going to very graciously reunite him with, then I will tell him that I'm marrying Loran. So would you keep this fast going until we determine that?
Of course. Kev may be a flight risk, just so you are aware.
I will speak to Kev.
Understood. He pats you on the shoulder. Ulster,
Oh, right, Kev.
I'm very excited to wed you. And Loran, we can also get married. There are no rules. And he punches him on the shoulder. Right, I'm going below deck. I assume that's allowed. I am a king. I can, however, sleep. No, I'm not a prince. I can, however, sleep on my own boat. If you'd rather not have me nearby.
We have spare hammocks.
Amazing, I'm off. And he goes downstairs. And Loran looks surprised. He's like, did we meet him already? Because that felt like an entirely different interaction than all that we've had before.
Of course.
Yeah.
You've met him many times.
No, I know, I'm joking.
Okay, before Alabek arrives, we should change because, before we, and everything should be buttoned all the way up. Just for him, just for this once, just because we really want to make a really good impression.
No.
Please.
No. What do you guys think? He addresses the two of you, Sparks and Slayer. Do you think we should change everything about ourselves to impress a certain
It's
person
to get
you've
on
never
his
met?
good side, because he might tell my dad, and if my father finds out, we are screwed.
How so?
How about the one button more?
So instead of my V going down to the navel, it would go down to the bottom of my sternum.
How about you just wear a cloak,
It's too hot for a cloak.
Luran? Just for an hour, could you wear something that isn't deeply cut? Or
If you can find something in my wardrobe that isn't deeply cut, then I will wear it.
you are literally a tailor. You could just...
I'll never use my work for evil.
Luran, do you seriously want him to be immediately off put by us and go back to the Messiah and tell my dad that something's suspicious? He will turn up and he will kill everyone and take me home.
No, he won't, also.
I don't know. He's pretty angry as a person. He could just all put you in jail.
Why would we bring him on the ship then?
I'm not inviting him, Sparks. That's the point.
Oh, the lunch tomorrow?
No. So Alabek, okay. Alabek and my father, different people. Please remember
Yes.
that. Alabek
you're
is my
referring
ex-fiance.
to your father.
Alabek really likes schmoozing and the royal family. He really likes that. It's like his favourite thing. But then, if he goes back to the Messiah after having a bad lunch with us and he doesn't want to stay for the wedding, he might say to my dad, "Oh, Ursa's getting married." And then my dad is like, "Oh, that's not good," because he wasn't invited and didn't know about it really, and turns up and is like, "Oh, Ursa, you're not marrying Pico Taro, you're marrying Labranda Hain. Oh, Ursa, you need to come home now and never leave again. And Labranda Hain, you need to go to prison for 470 years.
I would still be alive in 470 years.
I don't think he'd sentence you to life, just 470
That's a long
years.
time, though. Even if you
It
live
is a
that
long time,
that's
though,
a long
honestly.
time.
And all of you would be banished from the Messiah, which means you would never get to experience our wonderful seasons.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to experience those anyway because no one's allowed in the Messiah.
Well, it's fine for them. It's just more like you'll never get to see me again because he's going to put me in a little tower.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow that to happen. I don't think anybody else is here either.
Well, none of you stand a chance against him. So let's just all put our best behaviour on for Alabek.
I don't think it would hurt to have a little bit of decorum.
Just for an hour.
I'll go find my Sunday best. Or perhaps it'd be better if I stayed below deck.
You don't want to see me having a lunch with my ex-fiance.
I just don't seem. It doesn't sound like I'm going to fit.
It's not about fitting. It's just about making him
Well,
comfortable.
if you want to avoid scandal, then shouldn't it just be that I'm not there at all?
You want to leave me alone with my ex-fiance.
I trust you.
I feel comfortable.
Well, could it be more that instead of Loran, you changing your whole appearance or anything like that,
I honestly
are you able to act less
provocative.
romantic and more, well, still connected as you are, but if he asks and he doesn't seem like he should know the truth, we could always be like, they are besties. Because some
Ulster, he drapes himself over Ulster.
Do
He
the
is my
things we do.
absolute darling best friend. And he kind of slips his hand down your hand and locks your fingers, and he just says, "I don't know anyone I'm closer with in my entire
You see,
life."
it's just goosebumps and he flicks them off. Do not do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, it's not going to work. Look, Sparks and Sleer are going to be there, right?
But I
assume?
want him to come to the wedding. It's nice to have
He can come
family
to-
there.
Of course. Ulster, I have no worries about who's coming to the wedding. If you're concerned about me meeting Alabek and how that would go, and his approval or opinion of me, perhaps it's better I just keep him at arm's length and have minimal interaction with him.
You really don't want to just put a shirt on that goes up to your collar.
I will, but I'm just providing another option.
I'm not embarrassed of you. I'm just saying he is sensitive.
And what if I don't want to be around someone who's sensitive in such a way?
Man, if you want to sequester yourself in the cabin, I'm not going to stop you.
Do you really want me there?
I want you to make your own decision. It'll mostly be a conversation between me and him anyway.
Okay, how about this? I will wait outside, and you can introduce me once you feel when you feel the energy is correct. And if it doesn't ever become correct, then I can just wait.
Okay, that sounds like a good option.
Fine. And I will be wearing a shirt that goes down to the bottom of my sternum. And a big necklace to distract from it. How's that sound?
In that case, I will get changed. So hopefully he will only be really looking at me.
What are you going to wear, Ulster?
Messiah clothing?
Okay, that sounds fine. Alrighty.
The most embarrassing royal clothes you can find. No.
Actually, you know what I was thinking was when I was looking at the art that I did from the other day, if you changed Ulster's green outfit to have a blue base, they actually almost look like kind of a royal version of the outfits from their original designs. The same with Loran. If you made the purples more blue, then it looks like their OG outfit's a little bit inspired. Which is
Also, we'll get changed into Messiah clothing, and he says casual. It's not casual. It's very formal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It looks like there's a lot of fabric, and if that's what you're going for, then
It's a lot of fabric. Yeah, he does his hair. He might ask for some help from Sleer to do his braids, because I don't think he can quite reach.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to look presentable.
I missed what you were saying, Ellen.
Oh, just of course.
Do you want to do this, or do you want to go to the next scene?
I want to have a break.
Emma would like a break. So 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
The most.
I feel like if we got married, it would be like on the stream. Anyway, we would like talk about it. He would make an announcement. Anyway, so as you guys are welcoming the various crew from the ship, I also want to just quickly say that there were probably more NPCs at Ulster's house that I've forgotten. If there are some, I will just say they appear. They're on the ship having a rest and they'll appear. But for now, Marlena, Kev, and Chorus, Prince of the Country, are the first to arrive. Now, Chorus's arrival is downplayed because obviously he is in hiding. But Loran's crew are mostly filled with people with some relative amount of street smarts. And there were maybe, I think probably Sleer and Ulster, you would notice this first, and Knight and Bluey. I think you'd notice there's more than a couple curious looks being thrown in his direction. But you get the impression his insistence on going straight down below deck just to sort of like stay in a hammock had something to do with just keeping a relatively low profile. And Loran is like looks like he's mentally like making a note of like who seems like they need to be thrown overboard. A liability, indeed.
Could I quickly talk to Kev?
You can, yeah. So Kev is currently got a little horsehair brush and is scraping some of the mildew off of a little seat and just patting it dry with his hanky, and he's like laying it down and sitting on it.
Now, I imagine also has like partially gotten ready with
yes.
Sparks.
Oh, he would. You know what? He would come and help you get ready, probably. Yeah. Okay. So then he's helping you get ready, and you can talk to him.
Yeah, Kev. So I just casually, how are you feeling about me getting married?
In massage, he says, Ulster, I kind of have always felt that we're very close, kindred. But more than that, I suppose you. I'm very flattered that you invited me because you are, I think, perhaps one of my closest friends. Your main prince as well, and I hold you in especially high regard. But as your friend, I would say that I think Chorus will be a nice match for you. Though I hope he doesn't keep you from the Messiah for long, because it is lonely without you there.
Well, funny you should mention that. I'm going to have a lot of freedom to move around as I like, I think. Hopefully.
Well, that's good. I mean, are you suggesting that rather than... He kind of looks and he says, the only way you would have such intense freedom is if you weren't committed to any roles in the Maasai.
As if I wasn't going to become king.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yes. Yes. I don't want to be king. I want to be free. I want to spend time with the person and the other people I love.
I think Kev interrupts you and just says, well, I think you'd be a very good king. But it is your decision. A king who is forced will not make a good one. So,
I know that.
with that in mind, I think you would be good. And I'm a little sad that you would be away. I would follow you anywhere. So, just make sure I'm not too... perhaps I could have a place as a Messiah ambassador on the Apraean court or something so that I can still help you.
Well, I'm sure Chorus would appreciate that. That's another matter, though. I will not be marrying Chorus tomorrow. I will be marrying Loran.
Ha! You what?
Marrying Loran. Dehane. The man I love. And I'm not going back to the Messiah and I'm not becoming king. I'm abdicating from my role as prince. So I can marry Loran.
Loran, who you've known for 2 weeks?
You could say we have a very deep personal connection. I've actually known him for 5 weeks.
He nods and his hand just slowly falls out of your hair. He just...
Right, I catch him before he can faint.
No, he doesn't look like he's about to faint. I'm alright, I'm just going to get some air.
No, Kev,
He takes a step towards the balcony and then just kind of keeps going and
I want to hold on to him.
looks like he's about to throw himself into the sea.
Kev. Right, I wrap my arms around Kev. Kev,
Yes.
I'm doing... Don't do that. He's been so... Kev, I'm doing this because I want to be happy.
No.
Yes.
No.
Have you ever seen me happy there?
You've been seduced by the villain.
He did not seduce me.
You've been seduced by his low-cut shirts and his long flowing hair.
Have you been
And
seduced?
you're gonna leave me. And he starts crying.
Kev?
Also, I can't approve of this. What on earth are your family going to say? You're never
don't
going to see
care.
them again?
I don't care what they think. That's why I'm telling you and not them, because I care about you. I will still be your friend, and I'll be able to be a much better friend if I'm not a prince or a king, because I don't have to behave in any certain way or do certain things or be certain places.
But I like having afternoon tea and doing your hair.
We can still do that.
No, we can't.
Why?
What reason would I have to do an ornate Messiah braid if you're just going to be on a boat? It would get ruined in seconds.
So you can keep doing it.
Just keep braiding it, yeah. I mean, Sparks and Slee are still there, by the way.
Okay.
And you
But
two allowed this? Who are you? When did
we
you
can't
guys
understand
get here?
Yeah, they can't understand.
He's... Hang on a second. He says, and you guys allowed this?
I will say that
Who even are you? Have you been background checked and you've just been walking around willy-nilly around the prince? That is not good, yeah. I'm gonna choke. Me too.
Kev,
Das ist nicht gut, ja. What? Am I being ridiculous?
be kind.
9. You're not being ridiculous. But But if I may, it seems the connection these two share, it's very solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can
Indeed.
survive a lot, and it already has.
Thank you,
And
Sparks.
I think they want to survive and more so live together in whatever way they can, which is not limited by the expectations of some parents or the restrictions of some societies.
I'm sorry if it comes off. I'm sorry if it comes off prejudiced. I must be honest. I have grown up in a certain way, and the customs that I am accustomed to bring me a lot of comfort. And I think he just is going to speak in common, but I'm not going to do the accent because it's hard. And he just says, "I don't."
Kev has a thick accent when he speaks common.
Yeah. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, Ulster, but I think I have to ask. Will you really never see your family again?
Well,
If you marry him, can you be sure that you know him, that he's worth throwing away your blood for? That your birthright for, even? You have every right to enter into the trials, not even to win, to support another. If you have a candidate in mind who you think would be preferable, you could throw your weight behind them. It has happened before.
I'll tell Alabek I support him, but I don't want to be part of it. And my parents have been, maybe they've been acting in a way they think is best for me, but they have hurt me, and they have never taken responsibility or apologized for it.
Damn straight, Loran says from the corner as he opens the door to the bedroom. I was going to knock, but...
I won't never see them again if they commit to changing their ways, and perhaps if I'm not to be king, they can see me in a way that isn't someone to be trotted out for the masses or to become something that I don't want to be. Maybe that will change things between us, but right now, they have not earned my love. So I'm going to get married without them, surrounded by people that I've chosen to be here. That's all.
And Kev looks at you and then looks over to Loran. You won't break his heart or anything, because that would be really quite horrid, and I would judge you very harshly if you were to cause him any great upset.
Are you talking about Picotaro? Who's this?
No, Loran. He's walked. I said he walks in. He walked into the room and he said, "I was meant to knock."
Oh, okay.
And Loran gives you kind of a look, Ulster, as if to say, like, "Do you want me to wait outside, or do you want me to answer him?"
Also, just
I have no intentions. Now or ever. And hopefully he won't do the same to me.
clearly the heartbreaker here.
I'm not the one with 5 ex-fiancés. Or however many it is. 4.
4. Well, no, 3.
Kev goes, ah!
3, including Kev. Sorry, Kev.
Yeah.
That was really short-lived, though.
I know. But I am more appealing to you now, right?
Yeah, yes, but just because I like men doesn't mean I like all men. I mean, Alabek's not my type either. And you guys are, like, completely opposite.
Right.
But also
I can't.
we the company we keep is not just because we're attracted to them in a non-platonic sense or non-familial sense, because those connections are very important, and obviously you're important to Ulster.
Exactly, Loran says. I am incredibly platonic with so many people.
That most people, I would imagine.
Most, yeah. I think we can say most. Yeah, I think we can say most.
Definitely after tomorrow.
He laughs at you and just says, "Yeah, of course." Kev, I don't know if my friend's vouching for me does any measure of good for my character in your esteem, but hope you still attend the wedding. And I think that Kev just says, after a while, can't say I approve, but from the sounds of it, the way you've described it, Ulster, you don't need my approval. Or anyone's for that matter. Not anymore. And if what you're saying is true and you are no longer going to consider yourself tied to your royal status, then there is no problem of me coming to the wedding just to support you as a friend. Though I might avoid the Maasai, my home, for some time after this, just in case Rolmy brings his fist down upon me.
He won't. He
Well,
maybe.
sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have my house in Ironstone. I'm not going to use it.
Could I make one of the bedrooms into a tea parlour?
It already has a tea parlour. In fact, it has several.
I know, I found them all, but none of them are quite accurate because there's many a time to have tea, and I need a tea room for every. Doesn't matter.
You could turn the whole place into a tea parlour.
I could turn it into a tea parlour.
Would you have one parlour for one end of the apartment where the sun comes in the morning, and then one for when the sun comes in the evening?
Would you like to live with me?
You're speaking language.
Well, I will have to live in Ironstone to work Loran's shop for a bit. So at the very least, I think that would be very nice, because some morning sun or some afternoon sun might be nice on the scale.
I may need to move my father as well. He's my only living relative, and actually would be very lonely without me. So I will begin these arrangements.
Yes. Why don't you go and do that? Alabek will be arriving soon. So, yeah. I'll talk to him too.
But
I'm no longer involved. Ulster, I pledge fealty to you as a commoner, whatever that means. I will be your friend.
Thank you. Hurrah for commoners.
Commoners who wear silks, and he moves away. But I'm going to say, just because he was joking with you and, putting on a brave face, when you see him leave, he does look a little fearful, anxious, uneasy, all that kind of rolled into one, and it kind of translates in a look he gives you guys and just a deep sigh before he leaves. You can tell that whilst he's putting his feelings aside for now, but he may want to, in time, may broach the subject again and understand a bit more. But for now, he has moved away, and Loran knocks and enters the room. I never actually did knock, but no, you look lovely. And you turn around, Ulster, properly looking at him for the first time, and he has found a shawl or a waistcoat which has a top button. It has a little window, but it's not as scandalous as before.
Very.
That's what I thought. Well,
Is it a Giorno Giovanni window, or is it a bit more modest than that?
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like a. Hang on.
Oh my god.
Because that's a big window. And actually, Bucciarati has a big window too.
I don't think that's such a big window.
From memory, I
Isn't
haven't.
it so homoerotic the way they hug their standees? Anyway, their
Oh
stands.
yes, yes. And the way Bucciarati licks Giorno to try and tell if he's lying.
It's so homoerotic. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, it's incredibly gay.
Why is this?
Why are
Anyway.
the straight male JoJo fans who claim that it's not homoerotic?
Also, with my hair, I can actually make the Giorno Giovanni spirals. I've done it before, just so you're aware.
Very good.
Thank you. Okay, right. So, I think Loran
Has a little
Sorry.
window.
Loran's a little window.
There's no nipple action though.
But then was like, what if? No.
I think before Loran looks at Sparks and just says, would it be okay if we just had 5 minutes?
Yes. 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 Sparks is very confused, but yes.
Oh, Sparks is here. If Alabek arrives, tell him I will be there presently to greet him. Hopefully he won't arrive early, but he does have a bit of a habit of arriving early. So if he does, just...
Oh, is Sleer here as well? Okay, then I think he would say that to both of you.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you guys had left, he would just say, "Oh, you look lovely."
Thanks. I think I'm carrying my entire body weight in fabric.
As it should be. And he says, "But can I just?" And he runs his hands over your hair. If you're going to be dressed all in royal regalia, perhaps we could loosen up a little bit of this.
I'm sure it will do no harm.
And he just kind of shakes out a few of the braids and just lets some of the strands fall loose.
I meant to ask, why did you change your mind about getting married so soon? I believe you were the one who said you wanted to wait 2 weeks.
Well, it just felt silly to wait anymore when you almost died, and that could happen at any time. And to be honest, I think I've been thinking, and keeping up the farce any longer doesn't really make sense. We've achieved what we came here to do. We could just get married and, well, figure out a way to extract Cass and go wherever we want to go.
Well, I mean, there's a few more things on the timetable. But...
Well, we can get to those, but...
Yeah, we can.
I just meant, not that I want to run away from anything. I understand that everybody wants to save a prayer, and I'm not so foolish as to believe that that shouldn't be done and those people don't deserve saving. Even if I'd prefer to prioritise my own skin and yours. But no, when it comes to the wedding, I just think that this is the right time. Besides, if we wait any longer, your father will come and snatch you.
They'll have to carry me all the way back, and he is 5'7".
That won't happen.
Be quite comical, though.
1 inch shorter than my mother.
Maybe I'll grow that tall one day.
I'm sure you will. Perhaps you'll surpass even me.
Or Saraza. He reaches up and he'll pull around and give him a kiss.
Wonderful.
You've gone a bit soft on me.
No, I suppose. All right, you can come back in. He kind of calls out to the others. Sorry to ruin your handiwork, but there was just a little bit needed, you know. I have the eye.
Ah.
We don't all have it, but I have it.
We should go and get ready to greet Alibek.
Okay. Is all the talking going to be up to you as to what your situations are?
We can all greet him. I think I would like to judge his state of mind and opinion. Figure out if he'll be amenable to the idea of me abdicating, putting my support behind him, and then getting married to a commoner. Not only a commoner, but a complete foreigner, and someone who's not him or Pico Taro. So we'll see how that goes.
So it's in levels. It's abdication. Sorry, I forgot the second thing.
Abdication, support, marriage.
Thank you.
It'll be okay.
I think if she finds a pen, she'll like write it in draconic, like smudged on her hand, like abdication, support, marriage, like very small. Yeah.
I think he's not a bad person. He's just very particular in a different way to Kev. You know what? You'll see. I will lead the charge for now.
Very good.
Okay. Wolster will take them up to the top deck to wait for Alibek.
Okay. So, as much as you do try, I'm just going to be very frank, to transform the Valentine from a merchant vessel filled with fairly free-spirited, open pirates.
This is the real polyamorous, polycule.
Pirates, excuse me, merchants. This really, really is. Really is. Anyway, as much as you attempt, Ulster, there is still a sense of you sort of sticking out like a male peacock amongst chickens. As does Loran, obviously, a little, but this is his ship and he feels a little bit more like he belongs in this kind of like very formal outfit. And I imagine that Sleer and Bluey have put on a little bit more like, you know, ceremonial clothing, probably borrowed either from Ulster or Loran in this instance, or brought for them by Chorus, just something a little nicer.
I think like Bluey would have some like religious garb.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure vestments.
Okay.
So she might have. I'm sure the armor can incorporate. She might put the shield away. Oh, she put the shield away.
Mm-hmm.
Shield bash Alibek as soon as he comes to
You also see Loran has put on his a jacket to indicate that he is the captain of this vessel, just to give him a more proper reason for greeting Alibek. You also notice that obviously Chorus has appeared, and Chorus seems to fully know Sarasa, by the way, and be quite surprised and keen to see him and speak with him. And they are talking to each other in quick, quite quiet tones this entire time, only really pausing now for this greeting. And Chorus very confidently, like he's done this 1,000 times before, because he probably has, strides alongside Ulster and just waits patiently for the other to arrive, wearing a slightly nicer jacket as well. An hour or so before the allotted time, you guys all gather and you wait, and exactly on the dot when he said he would arrive, Ulster, Loran kind of draws a teleportation circle, and you kind of send him the word, and there is a flash, and you guys see a tall-ish, 6 foot how much did we say? 6'1"?
6'1".
6'1", a tall, lanky man with chin-length black hair that's been very carefully slicked back with pomade that looks like it's completely turned it into a shell casing on his head. He is wearing a kind of a very light kind of like circlet, just something from his clan, not anything like royal by any means, and grey robes with a very thin green belt along the middle, black boots, just very practical. There's not a twinkle or a sparkle on any element of his clothing. Next to him, Loran looks like a Christmas tree. And he has this look like there's just something unpleasant, just like an unpleasant smell in the air. And he's like,
Hi, Alec.
Your Highness.
I'll offer my hand to him
Mm.
to shake.
He looks like he's about to kiss, and then he's like, oh, okay.
Welcome
And-
to the Valentine.
Behind him are a few attendants, who, if you guys ever remember the previous campaign, were the same ones he brought to the King's Trials, Zor and Amund. And they are just kind of as boringly dressed, as dour-faced, and just sort of following in his footsteps, like creaking along. And Alibek just says, charmed, I'm sure. Shall we proceed to a luncheon or sit down where we can debrief about your circumstances and our circumstances away from prying ears?
Of course.
Quite.
Did you want to be introduced before we went to lunch, or?
But of course, once we have been introduced, is there somewhere we could go without any lay people? Just us two, as I said.
Yes, we can.
Indeed.
But these aren't lay people. These are part of the crew. You know, friends.
Which ones are your friends and which ones are the crew? They all very much seem dressed in a similar fashion.
Well, you know what? That doesn't matter right now. It's only the people here you have to be introduced to.
Quite. Who is the captain of this fine vessel? Ulster, do you say anything or do you allow him?
I'll allow Loran to introduce himself because he's so good at it.
Loran steps forward and hands out just slaps him on the arm and he just says, hello, sir, my name is Loranda Hain. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am, in fact, the captain of this very fine vessel. And you are? And he just says, I am Alibek Mensej. I have a great respect for those who know how to steer a vessel the size of this. I have actually never travelled on a boat this large in my life. I have travelled on smaller vessels, skippers and fishing vessels in between the tribal lands. And he just keeps going like it's very dull, it's very dry.
Okay.
And Lorandus is like, great, wonderful.
He's
You're
obviously
so
interested in
interesting.
boats. If he's talking this much about, you know.
Indeed. Thank you. And he moves on. Who else do I need to?
Also, I will gesture to Sparks and Slia.
Pleasure to
Comrades.
meet you.
What are
I
your
am-
titles so that I might address you properly?
Well, my full name is Bluey Sparks. I am a paladin of something. You can just call me Bluey or Sparks.
Hi, Paladin.
Sure.
Hi, Paladin.
Hi, paladin.
Understood.
You-
Your Excellency, I suppose, or Your Holiness would be fine.
You can just call me my name. That's fine.
No,
Whatever you-
I could not do that.
He had all his first names.
What you're comfortable with.
It just seems so disrespectful to lower one's status by addressing them by name.
Or just being friendly, you know.
And how do you prefer to be
Of course.
addressed? Just so I know.
Oh, well, I am of a notable status amongst my clan. I intend to, I will be inheriting it along with my sister. So you can call me something like Lord, or you can call me Laird, Mensage, or you can even just use my full name. I prefer that. As I'm an inheritor, I'm yet to fully come into, and he just keeps going.
Okay.
Thank
Thea. Sorry, you wouldn't say Thea. Astra, would you like to introduce yourself?
Indeed, you may simply call me Astra. That is my name, and I have no title. Nor do I have a surname.
It's very mysterious, isn't it? Intrigue and all that.
Could that not mean that in many ways Astra is your title, chosen by you or your fates for yourself?
Very good.
Very astute, I believe. Someone, can you write that down, just so that I have it for reference for later? That was good. Okay.
So proud of himself. Right.
He leans over, and that was an appropriate interaction. Understood. Okay.
Well, Astra, there's also Sarazer, Duran's brother.
And you are a co-captain?
No.
And Sarazer just says, I am the Karnet ambassador. And Alabek says, oh, an ambassador at court, of course. Very pleasure, very, very much a pleasure to meet you. I've always long loved. Sorry, I can't keep doing this. Playing a boring character. I've long loved and been very invested in Karnet culture, and I have heard many great things about the stonework. I don't know if you know anything about the Mensage tribe, but we do have quite an affinity for that which is underground, and I've never seen sandstone in my life, but I have seen quartz.
I love slate.
I have seen slate. I actually use actually inherited from my grandmother a brooch made of slate that was intended to be given to Ulster on the day of our nuptials. But this is not going to happen naturally, of course, due to his impending marriage to the prince.
This is Picarus Terradian, His Highness.
Your Highness, and he bows. I, of course, am here to acquiesce my engagement formally, so that you two may be free to marry. I would like to say, Your Highness, I apologise for any impertinence that I may have caused by proxy from a distance, any confusion I might have put between you and Ulster during the course of your courtship. It was completely unintentional and not my intent to come between a royal match, by any means. But we can discuss this at length, I'm sure, when we sit down, just the three of us, and have a long private discussion.
Yes, well, the captain will be joining us as well.
I'm sure the captain understands that these things might be beyond his understanding, considering
he's
they're
very-
of court.
He's very personally involved and is very good friends with His Highness, so it will be appropriate that he will join the conversation.
Perhaps, but we're also discussing my family matters when it comes to my missing relatives who you
Oh,
seem
he helped rescue them.
But of course. Thank you for clarifying, of course. I will acquiesce, naturally. But lunch, is that happening, or are we going to dine later as a crew?
Well, we will be dining all together, all of us here that you've just spoken to. You'll be great friends, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
There's just very small matters that we need to clear up, before.
Of course.
I have to return your ring to you and everything.
To ask, though, and apologies that it is in front of everyone, but if I am receiving a welcome such as this, I heard no word from your parents, the king, his majesty, or the queen, that
Oh, yes.
they would be attending. I thought perhaps that it might be pertinent to send a letter, but I assume you would have done that
Lucas will be
yourself.
attending in the stead, and we will have a formal ceremony later, possibly.
So this is a preliminary.
Yes, you could call it just a, the beginning of something new.
Well, do lead the way to wherever it is we are going for our discussions.
Okay, of course, yes. As Ulster leaves, he shoots a look back at Sparks, Lear, and Saraza, just like,
If my watcher's will didn't last for more than 1 minute to give you advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws, I would have done it. I would have done it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
As you guys watch them disappear, Saraza just says, "That is not going well." And Kev says, "I completely agree."
We will manifest.
Manifest what exactly, Sparks?
There is every chance that it could go well. Potentially. Hopefully.
I think a lot of hopes are being built upon that, hopefully. Would anybody like some oolong?
"Oh, what's Shu doing?"
I assume Shu is purring below deck, curled up on like somewhere warm, that smells like Ulster.
I imagine then she's in Loran's bed.
Yeah. Because I think that whilst she was excited to be free, she's probably also really exhausted. And remember, in the original, she had to spend like a week in isolation.
Would Minna and Dorina be spending time with her, or would they be introduced?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think they're probably spending time with her, and they know that Alabek is mostly sort of here just to take them home, and that most of the important conversations they could have are private and need to be discussed within the family. So they're probably going to wait for a chance to just be with Alabek by themselves. But obviously that's something that would happen off screen. But they're looking after Shu. Yeah, I think that makes sense. They're just guarding the door to Loran's cage. Loran's cage?
Loran's cage.
Loran's man cave. Loran's cabin out the moor. So when you enter into what Loran had turned from his kind of half office, half bedroom. Sorry, no, because the bedroom is different. So separate them. There's an office. Loran has turned it into this little parlor for you all. And there are enough seats for everyone. You all sit down. And Alabek has been sort of talking to Chorus this time quite eagerly and just saying like, I hear that your country has a strong mining presence, which really interests me because I have actually been studying methods of excavation and archaeology, which I think could really strengthen the historical understanding of your...
Also just gives a look at Loran like,
And Chorus is actually like, never really been interested in archaeology, but we started discovering some very spooky things under our country. Then that's really another conversation for another day. Isn't that right, darling?
Right. Let us sit. Ulster will pull out a small box from his robes and just put it on the table and slide it over to Alabek.
Alabek.
Is your ring?
Thank you. I'm going to refer to you as Your Highness. It seems correct. I want you to know, Ulster, that My mistake. That was actually Emma.
You can
Your
call me-
Highness.
you can call me Auster, really. I don't mind.
Please, propriety is important to me.
But
These institutions wouldn't exist if they weren't meant to be respected. Though I understand you are moving from one monarchy to another potentially. I just wanted to clear up any air and say that I apologize for my actions towards you as a youth. I was flattered by the arrangement between us, and I thought in courtship a kiss was something that was owed, and it is something I have learnt now after much understanding and distance from the peck, shall we call it, that I perhaps may not have been your desired first kiss. And I understand. I apologise.
that is very appreciated. I've I've moved on. It's fine.
Very good. He looks to Chorus. You are a handsome and truly regal individual, and I would hope that you wouldn't see me as posing any threat to the fruition of your relationship. And Loran hides a laugh in a cough, like, oh, the sea air. My, how it still gets to me after all these years. Alibek looks a little put out and just says, quite.
Yes. That's very kind, Alibek. I'm going to keep calling you Alibek because I've always called you that.
That is fine. You owe me no title.
Well, we are all very comfortable here, aren't we? I really appreciate you coming to this wedding and also to pick up your two relatives that we managed to save.
I thank you for that. And he nods towards you and to the other end. I expect you will want to be paid handsomely for your work. And that is not a problem. I come from a clan that is able to provide.
He doesn't need it, the money.
Well, I was considering hiring if you have services to hire. Perhaps we could come to an arrangement that you might help me to deliver the my relatives back home. Teleportation one way is one thing, but well, I'm not exactly sure how I am planning on getting back. As it seems, Zor, my companion, has not prepared the teleportation room, so I may need to rearrange something with you.
We can get you.
Perfect. I'm lost at sea.
Well, I mean, what if we just chose to keep you here?
That would be rather funny.
So
A joke.
that was entirely joking, all of that. So, how are the Mensage at the moment? Are you in a stable situation? You're feeling good about your contesting for the trials?
My mothers say that I am progressing well.
But how do you feel?
I have much to learn, but I am willing to learn. I have, however, a deep... No, I cannot say the sin. He switches to Messiah, but he apologizes to Chorus and Loran first. First Chorus, obviously. He says, also, Your Highness, I have my doubts with regard to your parents and the longevity of their rule, which seems to me unusual, coupled with the disappearance of my relatives who have returned, and mythology and historical findings from our own country. I'm sure you are aware.
I am.
Being descendant, something is not right in the Ice Palace.
Well, it's less being not right and more, with the return of Menna and Darina, I'm sure you will uncover information that will be very helpful, especially when you take the throne, hopefully.
Do you mean not to compete?
He kind of looks between Loran and Chorus. I do not intend to compete. I do not want to become king.
And you? You would put your weight behind me over your cousin, your blood. Sharpistel's family's only heir. Why?
I don't think... Lucas has always said that he would not enjoy... He's not good at being alone.
But he would take a consort, I'm sure.
Why don't you discuss with him at the wedding? My support will go to whomever will do the best job, and that's not me.
Do you think it is me?
I have reason to believe you would be a good king.
Quite.
Lucas has turned a lot of his attention outwards as well. I believe he would thrive whether he was king or not, but you, I know, would thrive outside of your family lands on the throne.
Quite astute an observation. I will take it under consideration, Ulster. But perhaps when the time comes, you could assert this confidence publicly, and that might be good for my chances.
Yes, I mean, I won't be returning to the Maasai, though.
But your name carries weight, regardless. I'm surprised you won't be returning, though. I think their Majesties will want to congratulate you in a private ceremony in your home country, regardless of your chosen fiancé being a foreign royal.
Do you find it distasteful that I would choose another country of my own?
Of course not. A royal match is a royal match.
Do you think that all matches that are made royal are correct?
I think that there is I think that people who are born into families of standing are born with power, which, if exerted in the right way, can forge many things and build positive, mutually beneficial partnerships. And if one was to enter from a station such as yours into an unequal match, I would wonder whether there would eventually, inevitably, arise an issue over class differences and power imbalances.
And if I were, say, stripped of my title, would you still think I deserve such a match?
I think, unfortunately, you are one of the only people who would carry a touch of the regal wherever you go. There is, I believe, something in your bloodline which sets you apart.
Well, it's not regalness, it's more like... Well, I will leave that to you and your research, because I think that would be a very rewarding project for you.
Yes, quite. I'm rather invested.
I am fully abdicating from my position as prince. I wish to become a commoner.
But you won't become a commoner because you are marrying into another royal family.
Well,
So that's not possible. So how it works is that if you were
I'm not-
advocate, you would
Alec,
still be a lord
I
because...
am not stupid.
Apologies.
I am not going to marry into another family that would put me in the exact same position that I would have been in the Maasai.
You can't mean, and he looks at Chorus, you can't also be abdicating. There are no other heirs to your family.
Not yet, but they won't come from me. Because I'm not marrying Chorus. I am marrying Loran.
Did you bring me here under false pretenses?
No, I brought you here to tell you the truth. To give you my support. And to show that I am not going to be a game one anymore. You deserve to know why. And I felt I owed you this. You knew I was never happy. You knew I did not want to become king. If I wasn't happy as a prince, maybe my parents might, in time, come to accept and love me better if I'm not in that position. I would rather someone like you who is fully committed to the throne and its ideals were on it. I would like to marry someone I love who is not on any throne or has any titles.
Chorus leans forward and says, apologies. Sorry, for continuing the fast. We just wanted to get you into the room. I, being from a regal standing, have no problem with this match. Or being used as a cover story.
We were engaged for about a week.
It was true. But I had a feeling that trying to keep up a royal marriage with like a concubine on the side would be a terrible idea. I think it would just lead to more pain down the way.
Also, nods and takes out another ring, puts it on the table, slides it towards Chorus. And that is everything I have to return.
I think that Alabek looks between Chorus and Ulster and then over to Loran. And who are you? He just kind of says the whole thing. Hello, my name is Loranda Hane. I am me. And we're not going to get along very well, but we can get along just fine if you just don't make a big deal out of this. We're in love. Love is wonderful. But the relationships were built on far weaker foundations and flourished than love, right? Right.
He's so eloquent.
Also, I'm not quite sure how you want me to respond to this.
You don't have to
I don't.
respond in a hugely enthusiastic way.
It's your parents will not accept this.
No, but I am abdicating, so I'm not within the family anymore.
But to abdicate, there are formal procedures, which I know.
If I marry someone else and take their name.
You need someone from your family.
Lucas.
Of course. And your father doesn't know about this, or your mother?
Not yet, no. You can imagine how they would react, and I don't really fancy being locked up in a tower for the rest of my existence.
I see the situation that you are in. I would like it if you could see the situation that I am in. I have no way to return back presently to the Messiah. I do, however, have channels for messaging people, which can be used to my benefit. One could get a message to a king, for example. The message could say, perhaps, all of what you told me in detail. Equally, the message could say that the wedding went off without a hitch and that Ulster, Teronium, Daemon, or however you would have suggested, is taking part in his honeymoon and uncontactable for a certain amount of time until he will return to the Messiah to give you time to figure out precisely how you wish to break this awful news. Excuse me, this news. I suppose which of those two messages end up being sent could be affected by, perhaps, before you get married, just a quick public statement about my suitability for being king, because you said some very kind things, and your status now is quite good. But if you were to marry a commoner, it could fall some degree.
Also, just like laughs a little bit to himself, and then he'll reach out and grasp Alabek's hand. I will do it.
Very well. I actually believe in what Bran said. Love is a good foundation stone upon which, but it's a cultural thing, because a lot of our idioms and our slang includes rhetoric which references stonework, and as such, when it is translated, sometimes it comes off as quite harsh or dull, which is obviously very witty in our dialect. So I'm actually considered very witty by my community and family.
You know, when
though
you were little, the other kids used to call you Pebble. I always thought it was really cute.
And they used to call you Spooky.
I'm still spooky.
Yes, it's very true. But I'm a bit taller than him. My Pebble could perhaps become,
Stuck at
although
Pebbles.
actually something that I'm one of my relatives. No, this is not the time. Ulster, I wish you well. I will draft perhaps a document you could sign, and then I will send that back.
Understood.
And another one about your marriage, and we can discuss. Okay. Well, I feel like now I am intruding on something.
No,
You don't think I should leave?
I would like you to stay for the wedding.
Really?
Yeah, it'd be a good chance for you to speak not only to Chorus, but my cousin. I assume you haven't mingled with people outside of your tribe for a while, and they're both royal. And it'd be quite nice to have you there. You could relax for a day, a night. The sea air does you very good.
I might require some assistance relaxing.
I'm sure we could help you.
Indeed. I will stay. But first, I would like to rest a while in my chambers whilst I go over this. Where am I staying?
Laura?
Hammocks upstairs.
They're very common.
Hammocks.
I'll make sure Chorus is in the hammock next to you so you can talk about, I don't know, architecture.
Well, if you believe it is appropriate to house all those of nobility together, I can't see an objection there.
Chorus?
No, sounds lovely. You can tell me more about stonework. Hmm.
It's very
And
generous
quite-
of him.
It is. Of course, you can tell him about your interests and see if he might have some thoughts.
I study coats of arms, actually. It's quite interesting.
I'm sure you have a lot in common.
Indeed.
Shall we go to lunch? Maybe you can meet my other friends and we can prepare for the wedding tomorrow.
Of course. Yes.
And then you can rest and talk and draft that letter.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You sounded very keen just then.
I did bring a new printing tablet with me just to pass the time because I wasn't sure. Some weddings go on for months, so I had a feeling this one would be shorter, but I thought I might have some downtime to try out my new letters.
Sounds amazing.
Quite. Yes. I tire of this, so I will retire now. And he stands. Good luck with your... Good luck.
Thank you.
Goodbye. He slides out of the room.
Penguin. Oh, well.
Of course, like, next to him?
He can be quite endearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just quietly make fun of him in a very affectionate way, he responds well because he becomes embarrassed and then he wants to ask about you more rather than talking about himself. It's kind of how I learned.
Is he from a noble family?
Yes,
Quite high standing.
very.
I'm really just looking for a Messiah match, to be honest, so I might just go ask him.
I mean, if you want to marry Alabek,
Not really, but I just really... The Messiah is kind of top bill at the moment. No, I'm joking.
well, my cousin is also coming, so you can try your shot at both of them.
I feel like it would be weird to jump from cousin to cousin.
Oh, there are people who do it.
Right. There are people who do. You told me about Daniel. It's so fucking funny.
Daniel literally was like, I'm in love with Oster. Also, I was like, I'm gay. Oh, I'm going to marry his cousin who looks kind of like him.
That is heterosexual.
No, he's bisexual.
He's bisexual, excuse me.
There are no
heterosexuals in this world. Not a one, queens. We're all femboys and twink mamas here.
Twink.
Anyway,
I don't know what a twink mama is. I
don't know either. I hope
Happy
he
twink
does.
death.
happy twink death. Alabek message.
That's so funny.
He's no longer a pebble.
That's so funny, actually. Well, gang.
Does Ragnar
Scooby
have a-
Gang.
Are you asking him?
Yeah.
I think
last thing I'll ask him.
Chorus would excuse himself, and also that last bit was a joke. He just said, just so you were aware. I'm not actually looking for it. I'm gonna go. And he closes the door. And Loran kicks up his knee and says, I think I could have been wearing a V-neck shirt. I'm just
It's good to know that I
saying.
get passed around.
Sorry?
Oh, it's good to know that Chorus is just passing the sign people around.
I think that he is he might have a fetish. No. It's probably more like he has royal duties he cannot shirk.
And the Messiah heir will fix all of those.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Isn't that always how it works?
No.
Well, I can't see how that could have gone any better. Shall we go make our wedding outfits?
Do you have anything else to talk about?
There's something wrong?
Or do you feel okay?
I
That's
feel
quite an intense meeting.
also I feel pretty good.
Okay. And you're still not frightened of my parents?
They haven't met mine. They aren't coming to the wedding, but I feel like if I had to, I could invoke a few favours.
I mean, when they do find out, it will be a matter of, I believe the phrase is shit hitting the fan. So they don't really have... Anyway.
No, I suppose they could just come and not make a huge deal about it.
You want to invite your parents?
Not particularly, but I felt they'll make a big fuss if I don't. Don't you?
Well, I mean, they do have very long lifespans. I'm not sure if I want to sit through your parents making a fuss for the next few centuries.
Fine, if you insist. Perhaps. But they can't stay on the ship. That's just too much of an imposition.
Well, you have many hammocks for some reason.
Also, they're not sleeping in the sex hammocks. My parents, are you kidding?
I'm sure Zarina would like it.
No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no.
You could make a new hammock for them.
They can sleep on that other ship that just arrived. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, fine. And he sort of just traces a little rune in the air, and you can tell he's sending a message.
Also, we'll kind of shuffle over and then snuggle next to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, you don't want to invite your parents?
I really think you don't want me to invite my parents.
Yeah. I think Loran will just sit with you like that for a while. And upstairs, Slia and Sparks, you guys spot Alabek Mensej as he emerges.
I'm trying to remind you guys what he looks like. I'm going to send another picture.
And he just kind of begins to kind of like slide across the floor and then looks over at you and then crosses the path. Hello.
Hello, Led. I hope that conversation.
Sorry, I don't know why that was so cute.
I hope that conversation went well.
Quite. Much was revealed. How much do you know about the situation? I will not betray their confidence.
I think everything, but if you wanted to check, then don't. Just to make sure, it's probably best if.
I believe you.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yes. Wow, he does look. Yes. Good for him.
He does look what?
Well, he looks as described.
Can we just appreciate Ulster next to him and the improvements on the gene pool? Hold on.
So is this in his outfit? Oh.
This is the AU. This is really old.
Oh wow. Oh, that's
No, it's
clever.
not, is it? It feels old
It's
because
old.
I've drawn so much.
That's clever.
Guys, I haven't put my pen down for weeks. Anyway.
I love that he's looking at the royal portrait.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And
he's looking at the royal portrait and one of those children is his.
guess which one?
With the little sharp tooth. Oh my god. That's
Yeah. And the little red hair. And the same hairstyle as him.
wow.
Mhm.
Does Loran have like nips out, or is that a sheer thing over his chest?
Oh no, that's Nips.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's also a porcupine in the AU.
Alright.
Guys, we've written 90,000 words of this story. There's a lot to talk about.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Canonically, Alabek,
is really
bad.
at sex. I knew you were gonna say that.
I think I
Really
was
bad
worried
sex.
you were just going to end the sentence at bad, and we were going to have to cancel this man.
No, he's actually kind of endearing and it's becoming a problem.
He's endearing, but also like it's really hard when you're writing. Okay, this is completely off the game, but it's really hard when you're writing an arranged marriage when neither party loves each other,
Mm.
and like you have to write from both their perspectives. And like if one of them decides to like cheat on the other person, obviously you feel bad for the other person, but then the other person, they're like, do they have an entitlement to the person they're married to because they were like basically sold into the marriage? Like it's a lot of questions that get raised about arranged marriages and royals. So it's interesting.
Ulster's so pretty though.
He looks scary in this portrait. I love it.
Yeah. Well
It's very
done.
harsh.
I just love the composition. I love
Yeah.
that Loran's looking at the portrait. That's amazing.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
It's so cool.
It is.
He
It's
obviously
really
would never be
beautiful.
in one. Thank you.
You should finish it, baby.
I should finish it. I just got really into the dress up dollies, okay?
Oh yeah.
You know, all of them get naked.
I didn't think that that it was unfinished. I thought this was just on a gallery wall or something.
Yeah,
Aw.
same. I had the exact same impression.
It's really cute.
Slay. Yeah, so you can, if you ever want to see the ding dongs of these two characters, I can just.
No,
No, I'm joking. I would never.
don't expose them in that way, please.
Ulster has a fig leaf drawing, and Loran has a little sign that says indecent. But the
Very
reason I drew them naked is so that I could draw any outfit
Oh yeah.
that I wanted
Makes
on
perfect
them
sense.
without
That's
ever
really
having to. So good, so exciting.
Sometimes I just look over and she's laughing at the naked dollies.
I did accidentally turn on. There's a layer which has.
Are we recording, by the way?
Okay, right. So the way it works is I drew the base, and then I have to make an NSFW and an SF. I don't have to make an NSFW anything. I have to make a safe for work version, so I have to be able to turn off the ding dong. So the ding dong is in an entirely different group of layers.
Layers,
And-
right.
Basically,
Otherwise, they're just Barbie dolls.
otherwise they're just Kens, and they just have nothing really going on. But basically, making them naked makes sense so that I can draw things like the robe, for example, and have sheer layers without having to re-render and reline all the body, which is what I initially had to do for Ulster. I had to line the entire body again for one of these because I didn't prepare it properly. So I prepared Loran's properly. And when I was drawing the yellow outfit on the far left, I got to the very end stage of doing some really close-up multiply layer like blending. I zoomed out, and on top of the clothes, the dick was turned on. So there was just like fully clothed Loran and a lovely rendered penis. And it looked like it was like a peephole look or something. And I was like, wow, Ran, would he wear this?
No.
Maybe it's like a strange art show.
No.
They would have
Put
been.
it away, Dane.
Sorry.
Mm.
Oh god, we need to wrap up soon.
Yes, we do, because I have to go to work
Yeah.
tomorrow. Okay, guys.
Thank you so much.
Alabek eyes you both
Oh yes.
and just says, if you are lying to me about how much you know, I will know, so that you are aware. He has my confidence. I've known him longer.
I just didn't want to say everything I knew in the case
Right.
that it wasn't
course.
revealed, or that you know something that I don't.
Indeed, yes, that makes much more
So
sense.
probably
yeah.
best to have
Mm.
Ulster begin whatever
Understood.
discussion about that. If you're curious, I'm
Pleasure
also
to-
happy.
pleasure to
Also
discuss this
happy
with
to
you.
set up a zone of truth.
Pleasure to discuss this with you. I don't require such
Okay.
things as zones of truth. I understand the complexities of the human psyche and the fact that there are some instances in which we must tell white lies in order to protect ourselves, but there are other instances in which we must tell truths or half-truths for the benefit of the comfort of the other person. In this case, I feel like I can feel your energy coming to my... Anyway, he carries on and on and on, and you can stop him whenever you like. Basically, at the end, he says, I trust your intuition and your motives. Very good, sir. Very good.
Thank you.
Goodbye. And he walks away. You may proceed.
I love how much you've developed this character from his first incarnation.
Yeah. I would love to go back and see some of these characters.
You can.
I know.
He's done recording.
I know. I know he is. As is Kev's first interaction.
This explains
As is
so
Kev's
much,
first
though.
interaction.
Yeah.
Guys, Kev,
Yeah.
who,
It's completely different.
like, my name's Kev, obviously. And now he's like, goodness gracious.
Well, he was
Yeah.
mistaken for a Sophie, wasn't he, or something, or like some sort of name like that.
That actually became. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, this is information that we would never actually share, but it is lore that we
No, yeah.
built. Basically, Lily initially in Ulster's past had a character called Sophia, who was
yeah.
a young kind of like girl courtier, who was like a contemporary of Ulster's, who was trying to be his friend, but they were a bit standoffish to each other, and just kind of as a foil to sort of show what Ulster's personality was like.
Yes.
And then obviously
Well,
we developed Kev.
And I wanted, after a while of writing Kev, I said that I feel Kev is trans.
Yeah, and
So
obviously
we kind of merged the two characters, but obviously we're never going to reveal the name.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right.
so that kind of became part of Kev's story.
yeah. So if
The
you've ever
idea
read
of that character, but
if you've ever read
you'll
the
always know
name,
him as Kev
Yes.
and nothing else. Yeah.
then you can yourselves, as our very close inner circle, use that to inform Kev's character. But that is not how we will ever refer to Kev.
Yeah.
The only exception to that is one AU, which we are it's just obviously the Witch AU, but there's a very specific different set of circumstances, and that's never going to be relevant, or it's very, very particular. So we have thought of all these things.
But
Kev is Kev, so don't ever refer to him as anything else. I know you guys.
Everything. Kev's just Kev, or it's just Kev. What is the tagline?
No, Kevin also were engaged, but they didn't click at all. So
get me.
Yeah, that engagement was broken off, and he was engaged to Albeck instead. And then, of course, eventually he was just like, I'm not going to be engaged to anyone.
Then he met Loran.
And they met around.
Very good.
I'm going to be engaged to him.
You. He arranged his own marriage, really.
All by himself.
All himself.
I don't know.
I did it all by myself.